Is this thing on?
Yes.
I think it's Thursday, December 3rd, 2015. And guys, no lie, I'm still full from Thanksgiving. Man, we're here as always. This is John and Ted's Excellent Gamecast, episode number 9. And I'm hobbling in here, belly all full from turkey from a wonderful Thanksgiving. I think the last plate of leftovers was maybe an hour ago, and I'm done. No more. 362 days left, and then I'm good. Oh, man. We're here as always with Jonathan Nadeau. What's up, bud? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? You sent me some pictures, and I showed my wife, and she was like, there's no way he really ate that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he did. He told me he puts away the food during Thanksgiving, so.
Oh, yes. I had a great time. And we're not alone, John. We have an awesome guest today, a Bradley Cooper lookalike. Self-proclaimed, I might add. We have Jimmy Vosler.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Jimmy?
I'm not... so I've been told I look like Bradley Cooper, but the thing is with Bradley Cooper looking like him, I kind of have like the hair from Limitless, like before he took the pill.
Oh, wait.
And then like the beard from American Sniper, so I just scare people.
Oh, wow. So that's a great combo, I guess. I mean, hey.
No, it's a terrible combo.
Well, man, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was awesome. It was great. We had like a Friendsgiving, and because one group of friends was out of town, we actually got to do like 2 Thanksgivings back to back, which was amazing.
Oh man, I'm jealous. Well, kind of. I think I'm good. I had my Thanksgiving quota. I told John I put away a solid 4 full mountainous plates of food, plus an entire plate with some side plates of dessert. Yeah, I think your wife can attest to that awesomeness. Yeah, I'm rolling around and everything, and then everyone tries to go to the gym the next day, and I don't really care, but I was just in the gym.
Like, I don't care. I'm proud, man.
Yeah, you got to own it, man. Like, food is fantastic.
Exactly.
It's like my favorite thing in the world. So whatever. Yeah, I owned it, and then I was in the gym, kind of all sluggish and slow, belly all full. I'm like, yeah, let me just do 2 sets, and I'm done.
Did you gross out anyone at this dinner? That's the question.
No, I was with Shauna, so that was cool, and
okay.
Everyone else was on point. Everyone was like, okay, he's gross, but that's all right. But yeah, not this time. And yeah, last episode, Jimmy, if you heard, we talked about my one of a Thanksgiving story about me grossing out a girl I was supposed to be kind of talking to,
Yeah.
And I ate so much food that she left.
She's like, I can't. This guy just eats too much. It's disgusting. I'm out of here.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
I wonder if Chase went ahead with his Excel spreadsheet. I wonder how that worked out for him.
Oh, I know exactly. Yeah, we'll have to get check back with Chase to see how that worked and all the Thanksgiving stuff. But it is December now, which means it's Christmas time. It's that time of year. I can't believe it's December already. Yeah. What the heck is going on? And before we get into that, though, we had an interesting day. We had another holiday on the 29th. Not only was it Shauna's birthday, but we had a fantastic holiday that comes around every couple years now, and it was the Broncos' victory over the New England Patriots, John.
The glorious it was.
How awesome was that? In the snow, everything cold, nasty, gross, and down goes Brady. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. It was a fantastic night here in the Nadeau household. When they went into overtime, went run downstairs, I was yelling to my wife, the Broncos won in overtime, they did it! And, Brock Osweiler, he is my new favorite quarterback. Hey,
I'm a fan.
Yeah. I think, unfortunately, Manning's played his last game, and it was a terrible game that he played, so I really don't think Manning's going to see the field again.
Nope. Brock Osweiler effectively ended Peyton Manning's career, just like Tom Brady ended Drew Bledsoe's career, unfortunately.
Yeah, sure.
I love Peyton Manning, but, it's the end now, but sorry. Oh, man.
Yeah, he was. I didn't realize he was on Denver for 4 years. So I'm sure he learned. And watching him play, like, that's really what the some teams should consider getting these. Not every rookie out of college is going to be able to keep up in the NFL. And I think a lot of these quarterbacks that get thrown into the Sharks, they last for 2 or 3 seasons and disappear because they get chewed up and spit out by these NFL defenses. But this guy got to sit on the sideline, watch Peyton Manning, learn, practice, and when the time came, he went out in the field and just took over.
Yeah, he really did well. I mean, he's not your prototypical quarterback in the sense that he's 6'8", which is pretty awesome.
I know. When they said that, I was like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah. Well, he towers over. I mean, everybody, you can see it. I mean, he's long, lanky, and he can his trajectory of his passes are down. It was amazing. I was just happy to see, that great game, and I love snow games. It looked fun.
Oh, it's everything. It's everything football is all about. Like that's the tip. That's a football game.
Exactly.
Playing in the snow, running the football. It's all about just trucking down the field in the snow and just gridiron football,
And then it's always good to come with a W, and especially to rub it in the Patriots' face. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. There's no more 0 in that column, so that's always a great thing.
Hey, they're always 0 in my book.
I heard Brock got in trouble, though, for having a weapon on the field.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that his arm, huh? The cannon, right?
He had a rocket launcher.
Yeah, oh.
Zing!
Wow, coming out of the gate quick like that, huh? All right, Jimmy, we gotta up our game, all right?
I know, seriously. I know the one thing I was telling you earlier today, Ted, about it makes me sad is Peyton Manning had the one shot at a stat that probably only he could have owned, and he's probably not going to get that stat now, where he'd be the only starting quarterback that could have won Super Bowls on 2 separate teams.
That is crazy. When you told me
that is rad.
Yeah, when you told me that today, I was like, wait, what? I mean, I've been around football forever, as you know, and like I was just, that kind of blew me away. I sat and thought about it, and I was like, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I mean, there's coaches that have done that. That's amazing when they say, "Oh, coaches won it with 2 teams or 3 teams," and other. But it's just that's something very, very unique that you don't hear.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
and when you think about it, you start going through the old Super Bowls. Like, okay, Bradshaw won, but yeah, he only did the Steelers. Or, it's like, oh, Joe Montana won, but yeah, he went to the Chiefs, but nothing was going on there. And it's like Aikman just retired. So you just start looking back through all the teams, like, wow, yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe like I said, a bench player came in, like someone got hurt, but no starting quarterback. Huh? Crazy.
Yeah. So he was the only, the only quarterback I think that could probably have done it, because I mean the way teams move so fast now, and if you get a good quarterback, Tom Brady's probably he's just going to retire with the Patriots. I really wouldn't see him playing anywhere else, but
exactly.
Manning's the only one I think that legitimately had a shot, and if Denver goes to the Super Bowl, it's not going to be because of Manning. So
exactly. Jimmy, who's your team?
Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, no. You're a Seahawks guy.
Name Russell. Last name Wilson.
No. Man, see, well, I went to high school in Washington, so all my friends are big Seahawks fans, and I'm not a Seahawks fan at all. I don't like them. I like Russell Wilson a lot, but...
Ted, aren't we supposed to vet these people before we let them on?
I know. Like seriously, this is, we have a Pats fan coming on here sometime soon.
I snuck in.
Man, remember Velas? He's a Pats guy. He grew up in Massachusetts. Oh.
I went to high school in Washington too, Ted.
Oh, nice. Where'd you go?
Lakes High School.
Lakes, yeah, I know Lakes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we played you guys.
Wrestling state champ.
Oh, congratulations! Fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of guys from Lakes, who played football, as you know, like you're a big football school, and basketball too. Lakes was great at basketball. Wow, nice.
I was too small to play football.
Yeah, what weight class did you wrestle at?
I ended up 130.
Oh, wow.
Year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, shoot.
Tiny.
Yeah, that's good. Well, what's your best move? What's your favorite move?
Oh, let's see. The high crotch.
The chair. No, wait, wrong sport? Dang.
Wrong wrestling.
I just pick them up and throw them out of the ring.
Okay, fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah, well, congrats though on that. And that's wrestling state champ. Nice. I went to state I was a track athlete, and I did football, basketball, and track and field, and I went to state and track and choked twice. So yeah, it's all good. Best thrower in the state senior year, number 1 throws and both discus and javelin, and then I got 6th in state because I scratched all my throws. It happens.
You were there though.
I was there every year, because I was decent at track. But I choked. But I was good at football and basketball. That was good. Oh man, awesome. Well, again, I'm happy that the Patriots lost. That was great. I'm also happy that Black Friday and Cyber Monday are over. If I get another damn email or notification on my phone from Amazon or Best Buy or all these people about, oh, Black Friday week or like deal of the day. I am going to throw something through the wall. Like
You know, it's like the emails that you got today. Cyber Monday's been extended. It's like, really?
I got a couple of those, yeah.
I mean, it's just I didn't know how many email lists I was on because I'm a notorious unsubscriber. As soon as I get an email I don't recognize, unsubscribe instantly. So I don't like crap in my email, and like my junk filters put on like maximum Fort Knox status. You know, I have like guard dogs on next to my phone, but it's just I hate that stuff. So then like the last week or so, I'll look at my phone, I'll set it down for like an hour, and I go back to it, and it's like 17,000 new emails, just all like, hey, did you know that the Black Friday deal is this? Or did you know that you looked at this? Here's your cookies. Oh, look, you like this, don't you? Like, what? How'd you know? And stop it, Amazon. Oh, man, I'm tired. I'm glad it's done, though. But now we just have regular capitalist holiday stuff. Just go shopping on Thanksgiving, or not Thanksgiving, but Christmas Eve, how you're supposed to do it.
We didn't really see any crazy deal. I mean, we weren't really looking either, but I didn't see anything where it's just like, wow, I have to buy it just because that's insanely cheap.
Right. I mean, there's stuff there that you're like, wow, that's cheap. But it's like, do I need a fifth TV like in the thing? Or like, there's like, okay, it's like, oh, buy 3 TVs, get 2 free. I don't need 5, but okay. So the deals are really funny in that sense. But yeah, I was just like, I'm just too many. And then like on Thanksgiving, all the stores we're driving around, and like the stores are open. And like, oh, we open at 6. Like, wait, what? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Go home.
I know.
Eat.
I think the Black Friday thing is especially like with the physical stores. That's really seems to be, in my opinion, kind of slowing down a lot. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm sort of out of that circle because we pretty much just buy everything online. But
I think everybody buys things online. I went Black Friday shopping like for like a minute or two because we're in the middle of moving, as you know, and so like, let's see if we can get some awesome deals on furniture, because we want new furniture. So hey, that's probably a good way to go. I needed a sword and a shield, and like it was like ridiculous. Like, oh my goodness. Like, and then driving in LA, like it just sucked. You know, Jimmy, how it is up here. It's just it was insane.
No one died this year, right?
Right. I mean, hopefully not. I mean, like every year, like somebody goes down. It's just and I was listening to the Giant Beast cast, and they were talking about how it's like somebody dies every year, right? But it's never a tragedy. It's like, oh, Black Friday. Oh, you got us again.
Black Friday.
Yeah.
Trampled again.
Yeah, it's like any other situation that would have been like a horrible tragedy. They've been like, like a memorial and stuff. It's like, oh, Black Friday. Just, watch yourself next time, guys. Just watch out. No, there's actually a morbid website, I think blackfridaydeaths.com, and it like tracks who's died over the history or whatever. Ugh.
Good Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, on a happier note, I went paintballing this weekend.
Nice.
That was cool. I got shot in the butt like 4 times. That was awesome. right in that.
Did you shoot Shauna?
I did, actually. Yeah.
Oh, you're a bad boyfriend.
I am a very bad. No, it was fun. Like, we went around and shot some stuff. And
was she into it?
Yeah, she was. I mean, Shauna, she's an ex-fighter, so she likes that kind of stuff. And she's a surfer, so she likes that kind of active, like, sports type stuff. So at first she was like a hardcore sissy, like wouldn't even go out and like hiding behind the barrier, kind of poking. And I'm like, dude, go out and shoot something, And she like we went through like a couple of games and she had like she shot like 3 shots, and I was already going like my fourth hopper of paint, and like I'm filling it up and I'm like spraying like. But I'm like, dude, shoot something. So then she's like, okay. So then she let loose and started shooting around. But yeah, I got smacked a couple times, like right in the chest. And I was like, oh. That doesn't feel good, but no, it was fun. I hadn't been
it's cold too, so I bet it stung.
Yeah, it was a little chilly too.
Cold? What was it? 70?
Yeah, it was only
well,
72.
cold in Southern California terms, John.
Yeah, John. Not all of us live in
what's
hell.
cold.
Yeah, not all of us live in hell like you. Like, good Lord. Yeah, first of all, you're close to the Patriots, which is disgusting in its own right.
I actually live kind of close to. I live within a half an hour of Foxborough too, so that's bad. I got the vibes,
Okay,
so.
we got. I'm getting nauseous right now. All right, let's continue this thing before we fall out here. So Jimmy, we always like to do this. Can you give a quick rundown so people know who the heck we're talking to? There's a third voice in there, and it's always changing. But who is it today? Who are you, bud?
Sure. Yeah. How far back should I go?
Whatever. Just give a quick overview.
Sure.
We'll get in
Just the
deeper
elevator
into
Yeah.
the elevator
Okay.
pitch. Yeah.
It was 1982.
Oh, that's a good year. It's a good year.
Nice.
My parents were staying at a friend's log cabin.
Okay,
It was
this is
very
going down a
romantic.
dark. This is going a very
And-
dark
Oh,
route.
wait, is that too far back?
I mean, a little further. Let's fast forward about maybe 9 months.
Oh, okay, okay. It was 1983,
Okay, good.
and I was born in
Oh,
Germany
Okay.
because my dad's in the
Nice.
military.
Oh, excellent.
So basically, my dad's a military brat, or I'm a military. Excuse me, I'm a military brat because my father's in the army. He was a combat engineer,
Cool.
Nice.
and so I lived all over the world. He kept moving us around, which was both cool and depressing because I had a very like nomadic life. And
I know this well, sir.
Yeah, I mean it was insane. It was 4 different high schools in 4 years.
Wow.
We never stayed anywhere more than like 2 or 3 years. I had a different set of friends everywhere we went and everything. And the one thing that was like kind of the constant in my life was video games. My friends were always changing and the place was always changing, but I always had games and I'd go back and I'd find my favorite games and movies and play those and watch those until I finally like got to school and like met a few new people that were like accepting of the new kid.
Right, exactly. The whole new friends thing. Yeah. Well, awesome. And so now, since games were such a good part of your life growing up, how do they affect you now? Like, what's your position in games? Why are you hanging out on a cool gaming podcast like this?
Yeah, sure. So I've actually started developing about 3 years ago. I started doing the Unity stuff. Before that, I got my undergrad in information systems, so I never really was a programmer or a developer. I did some software development, but it was never gaming in college. And I
More
did
like
the whole thing.
stuff, right?
Right. It was like I was learning like SAP stuff because it was a business school.
Yeah.
Which is SAP is just the worst. I don't know if you have experience with that, John.
No, but I know it's the worst.
Yeah. And then after that I got involved in all kinds of weird stuff. Like I worked in defense for a little bit at Northrop as like a software tester. I had experience working at like an HR firm, basically staring at like mainframe terminal databases.
Oh,
like
sweet.
SQL.
Awesome. Sounds fun.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was, but it was like
Stimulating.
a cubicle farm, right? So it's like you're just
Yeah,
go in,
yeah.
and you're surrounded by guys that all look the same. They all have like the hoodie, and like,
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that movie Office Space.
exactly.
Yep.
It's like the door always shocks you on the way in. You're like, no, this is terrible. I hate my life. And so I did that for a little bit. I think it was like 8 months to be specific, and then I was like, I can't take this anymore. And I happened to have some friends that were going to the film school, and I kind of got like the acting, film, entertainment bug.
Welcome to LA, bud.
That's when I moved out to LA 5 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, and basically from there, I've been hanging around entertainment and the whole interactive entertainment thing I work in television now, but I've really taken a liking to interactive entertainment and games and things like that. So I decided to start my own company and developing my own things.
That's cool.
Excellent. That is really cool. Like, well, hey, you have a good place here on this show, and we're happy to have you. And so we'll get a little more information out of you here, kind of what you're working on, a little bit more about your background in your interview segment. But now this show is a little bit of a kind of a special type show. We're going to focus today on the news in a different direction because we have the Game Awards. They're happening. So we're going to kind of break those down, and I will be attending those, and I'm kind of pumped up for that. They are here in LA. And so they're happening, and yeah, we're going to kind of dive into those. We have two quick news stories, and then we're going to kind of go through the Game Awards in detail about where they are, what's going on, kind of the new events that are going through it. But you guys want to get in some news?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Yes, sir. All right, so this is just not really news, but I have to get this off my chest. I'm a Superman guy, John. I'm a Superman kid.
Yep.
So, Superman kids and the Batman kids growing up. The Superman kids always beat up the Batman kids because Batman kids are dorks.
Whoa.
Batman kids. Dude, we did not do any vetting on this, John. Wow, we did. Wow.
Okay, Ted may have been able to take me in high school because I was only 130.
Right, and I was 225 in high school. So
Yeah, he would have had me.
It's probably 130.
Yeah. Well, that Superman kids did beat up Batman kids, and then so that's how it is. But the whole Batman vs Superman movie coming out, there was a new teaser trailer just launched a couple of days back. It was cool, right? It was awesome. But how the hell is a rich dude going to beat up an alien? Tell me right now. That's it. Just answer the question, somebody. Unless his suit's made of kryptonite, which maybe Bruce Wayne can do, I guess.
That's exactly what it is. He's smarter than him.
Well, okay, so he's going to sleep in it?
He's got a bat cave that he hides in.
Okay.
Yeah, but Batman has some pretty cool gadgets.
Superman can fly in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, done. So do you think you can get into a bat cave?
I think Batman can outwit him. I think he can do it.
Yeah, he has lasers from his eyes. Yeah, so again, I gotta get it out because every time people talk about it, I'm like, oh, come on! Like, there's no. Now we all know how the movie's gonna go. They're gonna fight a little bit, and then something greater than both of them, they're gonna team up.
Right.
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
But it's just the initial fight. It's like, really? Come on! It's freaking Superman. Like, he's my idol, by the way. As you know, I love Superman, but still, like, yeah, I just saw it. But and then the thing that kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth is Ben Affleck. But you know.
So is this going to be a second movie he's Batman in, or is this the movie?
This is the one. This is the first. But he's going to be in another Batman, but this is like his debut as Batman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? The only real Batman's Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I like. I mean, I'm not a fan of Michael Keaton as an actor, but he was Batman. I actually liked the Val Kilmer, the first one, Batman Forever. I thought that was a good one with Jim Carrey. I enjoyed that one. That was very funny, and Tommy Lee Jones. I liked that one, but
Bale did okay too.
Yeah, but towards the end, he was dumb. Like, hey, how's it going, guys? Just that voice is just so.
Give me a cup of coffee.
Exactly. Have you seen the was it the Batman dad, Batman husband or something?
Oh yeah,
on
absolutely.
Facebook.
Yeah,
oh gosh, that's hilarious. Like, Jen, what kind of curtains do you want? Oh, but yeah. So I thought it's going to be interesting to see Ben Affleck in that role. But yeah, like I said, I'm a Superman guy. I'm excited for Superman. But yeah, the trailer was just 40 seconds long. It had Ben Affleck, Batman chained up and Superman walking up to him all like...
It was Batman and Gitmo or something?
Yeah, it was something. I don't even know. It was cool, but I'm still just like... How long? They better like maybe only fight for like the first 10 minutes of the movie because then I'm not going to take anything more than that. I'm like, okay, just Superman kill him. Because Superman actually kills people. Batman doesn't.
He hands them over to the authorities.
That's true.
The trailer had a spoiler though. Did you guys see that? Yeah, Superman came in and took off Batman's mask, and then it was Bruce Wayne.
Oh, I didn't even... Really?
Yeah.
They're the same guy?
I know, right? Spoiler alert.
Oh, my goodness. See, those are the kind of things that Hollywood, they need to get right. You're in the entertainment business, Jimmy. You need to fix that, all right? Fix this stuff.
The trailers just show way too much these days.
They do. Like, I can't stand it. Well, there you go. That's all I got for the Batman vs. Superman. Like, I just had to get it off my chest.
The one thing about Superman, though, it's like, how does Lois Lane not know Clark Kent and Superman? I mean, all he does is take off his glasses.
Well, no, Lois knows.
Gels his hair, I think, too.
Lois knows, but like the rest of the people, the rest of the world's like, oh, wait, they could not be the same guy. Same height, same face, same eyes. Disappears at certain times. Writes all the stories about Superman perfectly.
Well, back when they wrote that character, the internet and like HD cameras didn't exist, though. So.
Oh, right. So they couldn't tell. Like there's only like maybe 4 pixels per inch. Not like 1,000 now, right? They couldn't see. They couldn't tell the difference. Yeah. Exactly.
And also, this topic came up at Thanksgiving too. I don't remember how, but so where does like Superman change into Superman? Because there's no more telephone booths either.
Nope. Exactly. He just wears the stuff under his clothes on the break on a daily.
Okay.
So he just goes through a lot of suits. Like he just goes to a tailor and he just rips them off all the time. The guy's like, another one this week? Yeah.
He just wears breakaway suits. That's all.
Oh, 1998. What?
Yeah.
For sure. Exactly. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that it's kind of funny nowadays. Like you have to think about. But yeah, I'll still see the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Superman guy. Like Batman, I don't know. I can't get on with Batman. I like the Batman movies, but I just can't get down with Batman as a superhero.
Batman jumped the shark if Ben Affleck is Batman anyway. So
yeah, it's like I could beat up Batman then. Like it's not believable. It's like Ben Affleck, really? It's like not believable. If Ben Affleck, if you're Batman, then I'm gonna go do some. I'm going moving to Gotham City, and I'm gonna rob every bank.
Well, wait, are you guys are like Iron Man or Captain then?
Iron Man, but I did
jeez.
I did like the second Captain America though. I liked the second Captain America. It was really awesome.
Okay.
I didn't like the first Captain America movie, but
It's getting at the Civil War, so it's like I came on the show and like we are just complete opposites.
It is. It's gonna be rough. Well, you know, we'll see how much more we can do.
Rise again.
Wait, well, see, okay, we're gonna. This is a perfect segue. We're gonna go into the second news story before we hit the Game Awards hard. Is speaking of childhood memories, and we're all '90s kids. Platinum Games is developing a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I'm
I
excited.
spent a lot of money on that arcade game, the 4-player.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everyone knows that. Yeah, that Turtles in Time or whatever it was, or something.
That was the last one I played.
Before that was the one before that.
Oh, the main one, yeah, because I had the NES game, and then I had the second NES game, and then like there's the arcade one, the arcade port I had as well. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, here we go. We have another question for you, Jimmy.
Okay.
Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, or Michelangelo?
Oh,
Mikey, duh.
Okay.
Right.
John,
I lean towards either Leonardo or Donatello.
you gotta choose.
Whew. I kind of like Donatello's staff for some reason. I don't know why.
Man, you're a Donatello guy. Well, I'm a Leo guy. I mean, I gotta have the katanas, but Mike is cool. If you would have said Donatello or Raphael, Jimmy, then we would have been fighting right now.
Doesn't that kind of say something about personalities, though?
It really does. It really does. It's kind of funny. Like that totally is. They're all the three main personality characteristics of any, or the four, main character.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like they're all totally different, and like whoever you side with is kind of who you are. Like I would agree with that. Mikey. Perfect. Well, yeah, that's a quick one. But yeah, the last game that came out for Ninja Turtles was absolutely terrible. Like, oh god, it was bad.
It came a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, 2011. It got like 3 out of 10. It was just like a mess. But actually, how this story came out was the game was leaked. Oh no. Yep. Yeah, did you guys see that? I think I showed you guys.
That.
Yeah, it was on an Australian games rating site. So like they had it in like the games rating like database. They just put it up, and someone like stumbled upon it. Like the internet works, and then there you go. It showed like the developer, showed everything about it, and then out comes the game. So, but
Jimmy,
before
you're supposed to be keeping your eye on that database.
Well, I was going to say that must have broken some kind of like embargo deal, right? Because you're not allowed to like talk or review the game till a certain date before it comes out.
Well, yeah, this is kind of like the ESRB for Australia, though. So it was like, it was like, the rating, they were rating like the violence and everything, but they put this stuff on well before the game was like ready to be talked about, and like all the marketing plans. And I'm sure like all those embargoes for like reviews and talking about the game are definitely still in place, because I mean, this was like a total leak, at least by months, because it's not even close to ready to come out yet. So
right,
this is kind of. I mean, they obviously maybe saw like an alpha stage build or a pre-alpha, and just kind of looked at it and had to do like the rating system in Australia, and they just put it up there like, oh, mild violence and this and that, and here's the publisher, and here's this and here's that, and so it was just, oops.
Maybe the employee had one too many cans of Foster's.
Yeah, Foster's.
Yeah.
Australian for beer. Right. Well, that's all we got for general news today, and now we're going to dig into the Game Awards, fellas. Let's do this. So, Game Awards are happening. You guys know about the Game Awards, right?
No, tell me about this Game Awards.
Oh, Jimmy, do you know about the Game Awards?
Honestly, it went totally under my radar last year.
Yeah, it really did. I kind of heard it. It kind of was on the wind, but it wasn't like something like really hit. I think what overshadowed it was PSX last year. That's what really was the big thing, because PlayStation's first big conference. And then, so Game Awards, if people listening don't know, this is the second one. Last year was the inaugural, and it's created by Jeff Keighley. And Jeff Keighley, if you guys don't know, is a pretty big name in the gaming industry. Games journalist. He does presenting on all the shows back in the 2000s as far as games and integrating games and TV. So that was the big thing, is the push to try to get video game content on TV, like the Attack of the Show, and then G4 Network and Spike trying to do stuff. G4. Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff, and Jeff Keighley was the big time the main host for Game Trailers TV, and did a lot of the G4 Network shows, wrote that stuff, does a lot of E3 coverage. So he's a presenter. He's a personality. He's a journalist. He writes a lot for Kotaku and Polygon and everything like that. So he actually created the Video Game Awards himself. So he once the Game Awards. The Video Game Awards were by Spike TV. They ran for like 10 years, and they ended in 2013. And so he was like, you know what, I'm creating my own. So last year was the first one, and he dropped $1 million out of his own pocket. Well, I wish that's nice, right?
Yeah.
Right. And he produced them. He set it all up. He created the show in like 3 months and kind of just rock and rolled.
He's the Dorito Gate guy, right?
Yep, Dorito Gate happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so on that YouTube video and stuff like that, like putting it in the background, the placement, that kind of went under the radar and everything after a while because people were like, you know what, you can't really prove it. And wow, like he took. Why
does everything have to have gate at the end of it?
Right, exactly. Yeah. What the gate? Like
Gamergate.
Deflategate, Bountygate, Spygate. We talked about that last week too. Gate. I said, it's like whatever. Yeah, everything's got to have gate on it. Thank you, Nixon.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. God, like everything's got it. But yeah. So last year was pretty successful. I mean, 4,000 people. 4,000 people attended. Excuse me, 3,000 people attended. 4,000 people are scheduled this year. But and like it was 1.93 million viewers of the show last year, and they're expected to double that this year because the marketing has been, they've actually had a full year to plan it and everything. They got the broadcast will be on like everything, so Twitch, YouTube, games, Xbox, and PlayStation on their platforms will stream it. Plus like GameSpot, IGN, all the big places are going to stream it. So there's going to have a lot of eyes on this thing, and then. So it's gonna be a big show. Like I said, like this year, the advisory board, they announced it. So I think I sent you guys the info for it. But this is pretty cool. So I'm gonna read these real quick, and then we'll kind of get into talking about it. So this year, just kind of showing how it's grown and how legit they're trying to make this is. Last year was put together in 3 months. This year, they had a full year to plan. But the advisory board for this includes Activision's publishing division, Xbox executives, Nintendo, Sony, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers Interactive, Peter Moore, who's the COO of EA, and Hideo Kojima. What? Yeah. So those are people who helped, create the show, gave advice, on it, on getting connections, and so I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on like, whoa, like how ready is the entertainment world to have a legit award show that's kind of unifying? Because there's like the golden sticks, the golden joysticks award show. There's all these other smaller award shows, but this is like, seems to me like it's positioning itself to be like the Oscars now, like the award show.
Yeah, I think he got a few home run hitters on his advisory board, so he obviously leveraged his connections and used them wisely, and I think he could probably make this the sort of be-all, end-all of, gaming shows.
For sure. Yeah, like I said, that's what I think so far, reading about it, and now I'm attending it, getting all the info for it, it seems like it's a pretty big deal. Like, so...
Yeah,
Kojima. Is he not on vacation anymore?
Right. No. Yeah. Like exactly. It's still he's on vacation actually until December. Actually, when his little deal ends. But but he's not affiliated. So on the advisory board, everyone else has something behind his name. It's just Hideo Kojima. That's just Hideo Kojima. That's just his title. He's nothing. But yeah, he's on extended vacation. but yeah,
right?
Yeah. But even having someone like him though, like I think. They're really positioning this to be something that's big and good. So, man, just that alone. So that's just the prep phase and what's going on. And so, like, yeah, I think I slipped up and said 4,000 for last year, but that was 3,000. But this year, 4,000 people are supposed to attend it this year. So, I mean, that's pretty large.
Including you.
Yep, I'm going to be there. And, I got tickets to them. I'm floor level orchestra, like 22 rows back. Right in the middle. Yeah, I got good seats. But it should be fun. And then again, they're like doing it like big time. They have a red carpet event. Like again, the show starts at 6. It goes 6 to 8:15 or so. But the doors open at 4:30, and the red carpet event starts at 5:15 or so. So it's like they're doing the whole like interviews on the red carpet, and everyone's gonna be there. I mean, it's just like, I think Shuhei Yoshida is gonna be there. Like people like from like old IGN people like Greg Miller, from Kind of Funny Games. They're going to be there, and it's just going to be a big show with a lot of big time developers, a lot of big time people in the industry. So yeah, I'm bringing a lot of business cards.
Instead of people shouting like, who are you wearing? Are they going to be like, what's your favorite caffeine intake? Or, what's your favorite junk food?
No, they're not going to do that. They're going to be like, I love your cosplay costume, because costumes are encouraged. So they want people to want people to cosplay. So I would expect Jamie Lee Curtis to be there in some capacity, right? And dressed up as something.
Are you going to go as Superman?
Yeah, dude.
You mean myself? Wah, wah. No, that'd be awesome. I should do some cosplay. What should I be? Should I be like Kirby? Big pink. Oh man, no, I don't even. Yeah, they're. I saw the website today. It said people are they're encouraged to wear costumes, but please adhere to the guidelines below. So it's like a little guidelines, and like they should not be offensive, violent, or anything else. So
don't expose yourself. Yeah,
don't expose yourself. Don't bring airsoft guns and start shooting the crowd, or any other guns, please, people. I know it looks real, but don't do that. All these different things that there's good security and everything, but it's just But like I said, I was in Comic-Con this year, and the cosplay game is real. Like I am not on that level. I don't, spend $3,000 on a costume or 3 weeks making one either way. So it's just, but it'll be fun to see at least. So that's that. So with the categories, so it's like a typical award show. So we're gonna kind of break down what the show is, guys. So I'm gonna read off the categories, and then we'll talk about this or what categories you think don't need to be there, or what what could be added. So here are the categories. There's 22 of them. It's obviously Game of the Year, Developer of the Year, Best Indie Game, Best Mobile or Handheld Game, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Soundtrack, Best Performance, so that's like for a VO artist or a motion capture artist, Best Games for Change, so like something with like a good moral or, setting groundwork for something in society. Best Shooter, Best Action Adventure Game, Best Role-Playing Game, Best Fighting Game, Best Family Game, Best Sports/Racing Game, Best Multiplayer Game, Most Anticipated, Esports Player of the Year, Esports Team of the Year, Esports Game of the Year, Trending Gamer, and Best Fan Creation. So, those are the awards that are going to be given out. So, pretty deep list, I would say. It seems to me that they have to be smart and hit that esports vein, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a smart move.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the last two categories they could probably do without.
Yeah, I think that's they have to. The Best Trending Gamer had people like Greg Miller and PewDiePie, like the big names, and I think that's just a way to get the big names attached to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So and that's this generation, right? Like they follow gamers. They don't play games.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
Jimmy, how much Twitch do you watch on a daily?
I watch quite a bit of Twitch, actually. I try and watch my brother Twitch every once in a while.
Oh, that's cool. Well, see, that's different. That's like your brother, and and like it's fun and stuff. But like like I know kids who like seriously like watch it for like 4 or 5 hours a day. I'm like, dude, play video games. Like,
yeah,
play.
I know. Yeah,
watch Twitch for 2 hours. Cool.
I put it on the background when I'm working sometimes. And
exactly. That kind of stuff I understand because in the background. But like as far as like doing it, like I would much rather play a game than watch it, unless it's like a tournament. Like I'm watching like really good skilled players. But if it's someone just playing like Call of Duty, like I don't want to watch someone play Call of Duty. Like I'm good. I'll play Call of Duty. But I don't want to watch it. Like the tournaments are a different exception, because these are people who are just way more skilled than I'll ever be at Call of Duty or that type of game. So I'll check that out because their APMs are I just can't hang. I can't click the mouse button 300 times in a minute.
Right.
But yeah, so they're definitely hitting the esports vein. Indie Developer of the Year. Are you on the list, Jimmy?
No, I am not on that list.
Oh, soon to be though, right?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll talk about that too. For sure.
I gotta say though, the because of who's in that list, I'm a huge Rocket League fan.
Oh yeah, really me too.
I have to take issue with the categories though.
Please, I want you to
beef with that.
Yeah.
So okay, here's my thing with these categories. So you have, for example, you have best role playing game. Then you have right below you have best fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
What if you have a role playing fighting game?
Right.
Where does that game
Yeah,
go?
how do you differentiate? Is it more role playing than fighting? Is it more fighting than role?
That's a subjective thing that you kind of just push. You know, there's certain games like best action adventure game, but what's an action? What's an action RPG? Like Fallout, right? It's like that's an RPG, but it's an action RPG, right? So yeah, I'm tracking on that big time. Like
and so like you have a game like Rocket League to go back to my
sports and racing is all in one.
Exactly. So there's sports and racing category, and there's an independent game category, but that's literally a sports racing game.
Yeah, it totally is. Luckily though, Rocket League is up for about 5 awards though. 5 awards. It's four. Yeah, it's the most nominations this year. I think is Fallout and Ori and the Blind Forest. They're tied for 6, I think, nominations. So, I agree. Like, and that's with anything, any movie. Like, this is not really a drama. It's kind of more of a suspense thriller. You know, like what does it go in? But, like games are a little bit more hard to categorize because they don't really fit a definite mold unless it is like, obviously like Forza. That's a racing game. Like, boom, right? But yeah, something like Rocket League, that's totally sports, and it's up for best multiplayer game, which is good. I mean, for sure, it should be. But then like even stuff like the thing that gets me with the categories, stuff like best family game. It's like what? How does that?
It's extremely subjective.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand what they're getting at.
There's probably families out there who play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I think my point exactly is I think what they're.
I hit you in the boob, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. I ripped your spine out, Mom. Like, I think what they're saying with the best family game is basically best game under the teen rating. You know, with the E rating for ESRB. You know, that's what I'm guessing because. You know, because all the games on the list are like really nice, fun, like chill games, like couch co-op or like, you know, nice happy games. You know, so yeah, I think that's for that. And then like stuff like what's another one that's kind of broad? Like the games for change. It's like that's a subjective as well.
Yeah, that was another one. I was kind of like, yeah, you know,
it's a good idea. It's a good theory, but it may be. They need to be fleshed out a little more. I mean, I think they give good descriptions on the website of what the categories they're looking at, but it's just like, you know, the title is a little weird, but it's the nominees for all the categories are cool, and the thing is, a lot of games are left out of this. These are like just the heavy hitters are in here. You know, even with the indie game scene, it's like the gangster indie games, like Rocket League, quote indie game, but that thing is worldwide huge. You know,
that's some power behind it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. So like they're kind of pushing a lot of stuff. But what I like, at least, there are a lot of categories. There are a lot of different things you can do. Good nominees. It's cool. But yeah, there's some things. What kind of categories would you guys like to see in here instead? Like I'm trying to think. Yeah, like. Would you separate sports and racing? I think I might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
I think I would. I think I would.
Because racing is such a specific category.
Yeah, it really is. Like, how are you gonna put Madden against Gran Turismo? You know, like
right.
Granted, they're both in a sport. Like racing is a sport, like motorsports. I guess that's what they're hanging their hat on. But a racing game could be anything. It could be Mario Kart. You know that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like so it's like.
Well, the one thing that I do like is that they have they give credit to the people, right? So they have art direction, narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a design on here, which hurts my designer soul.
Yeah, I think they lump it. I think they just figure
but that's a thing. There's people out there to design things,
right?
Yeah.
Well, you mean if you look at the last one, it's best fan creation. That's for like the modding community and type of stuff. So that kind of gives homage to that. But you're saying development from the standpoint of
game designer.
A game designer. Yeah. They have developer of the year, so that's like the big publishers, but they don't have the individual. Yeah.
They have like the best story. That's not game design per se, but it's still sort of
best narrative.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And best performance is strange to me too. Does that mean that?
That's for like VO actors and mocap actors. So like
that's what I figured, but that's an odd category.
Well, I mean, because they're a big part of video games now too. They really are. That's a whole separate thing. So they're also paying tribute to like Mark Hamill. Like, Mark Hamill's been talked about a lot because he's a bad actor, like really bad, but he's now making a name in video games. He's been voicing a lot of games.
The Joker.
Yeah, he did the Joker in the Arkham series. He's been doing a lot of stuff. Now he's in the, Star Citizen, and he's giving awards out, and all. He's doing a lot of things in the gaming world because he found that niche in that Star Wars kick, and that people know him. So he's doing that, and so he's now becoming almost like a Will Wheaton type deal. Like in gaming. He's
especially with Star Wars coming out soon, that things being stirred back up now. So he's smartly riding
that wave.
yeah. So
they have to pay homage to those because there's a lot of VO artists. Because we'll actually have a couple on here on the show, John. Like I have a lot of friends who are in the voice acting industry who do voiceover for games and stuff like that, and the mocap stuff too is pretty big deal. So, because again, it's a form of acting. It really is. Like, so, I kind of see what they're doing behind it because like the reason why too is because, like Jimmy, you have to give credit to like Nolan North, and Troy Baker, those guys who like are just they make the characters. There would be no Nathan Drake, right? There would be no all
sure.
This, yeah. So they give that performance that makes
Amelia Luddington with the Laura Croft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's on there. Yeah,
she's fantastic.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Like she was so believable in the first one. Yeah, it was, and her voice is perfect. And they give like that really, emotional score for those type of games with the narrative. So I think it's a decent category. But it is, like I said, it's just best.
It's just I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, best performance. It's like
okay. So it's really it's best voiceover.
Yeah, or mocap actors too, like people who do the motion capture stuff, So, and a lot of VO artists do that as well. They do both. So, but yeah, the typical stuff: best shooter, best RPG, fighting game, interesting stuff. But yeah, and then this is a category that got me weirded out. I was like, wait, what is this? I again, overall, I like the categories. I mean, I think the esports esports player of the year is kind of interesting, but I think you can do without that. But because you have the team of the year, so like I understand why, because some games are individual games, right? So I get that. And so if there's like one esports player who's won like 50 tournaments, give him props, right? But the category that got me, I would say, was the most anticipated game, because that's kind of basically
who's
like
buying
the biggest
that one.
Yeah, it's like who's the biggest name now. There's a lot of like this year, like the games like No Man's Sky and like Last Guardian, the games that have been just drip fed to us, and we're just like, oh my god, on the edge of our those type of stuff where it's just so we want them now. I get those, but those are such big budget, huge. Everyone hears about them on a daily basis. What about the other games that are anticipated that you don't hear about? Like you said, who bought that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. And then but overall, like I think it's cool. I mean, they're going to give some awards, but then I think they will, as it grows, they'll understand how the categories work, and they'll add more, take some off, and change the direction. But it's a good starting point, I think, at least.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah, so that's kind of the outline of it. So what's going to happen in the show? So here's some cool stuff. The show. So during the show, so all the nominees, for every category are going to be on the show. But during the show, so Thursday, today, there are going to be discounts for every game on all the respective stores: Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox, wherever you can get the game online or in the stores for 20% off on all the nominees as from a promotion through this. I thought that was pretty awesome. So any game that's been nominated for a category gets instant 20% off. And I thought that was during the show. Like that's great. That's a very cool, smart marketing ploy, just to get some, get some pub out there. So anything you guys going to pick up?
Did it say how they're going to choose the winners of these categories?
Yeah, they're voted on by the community and by a panel. So it's kind of like, I believe, I can look it up real quick. I believe it's by the kind of the electoral college sense. Like everyone votes, the fans vote, and then there's like a panel of like 35 like judges who are not affiliated with the Game Awards or on the advisory board. So there's no one on the advisory board. They were keen to stress that. So like Sony, all those guys are on there. No one on the advisory board can vote. So but it's like by a panel and by like voters. Like there was like voting up to it or choosing. So
okay,
yeah. So, but so I thought the discounts during the game, that's a cool little thing to do. And so Jeff Keighley, another thing, he mentioned about 10 world premieres that are slated to come out during the Game Awards. He said, yeah, there'll be no less than 10 world premieres of new games being announced or videos or something. I was like, well, that's pretty interesting. Now games are kind of holding back from E3 and to release their stuff here. That's
pretty
cool.
big, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's less noise at this than at E3, so
right. And this is a
E3
bigger
is
venue
insane.
almost. This is almost like an event where people are tuning in just for it. So it's like you almost get more eyes.
yeah, exactly. Now, didn't you say this show is like 2 hours and 15 minutes or
2 hours
something
30,
like that?
2 hours 15. Yeah, uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
there's 22 categories, and there's going to be 10 announcements. That is going to be fast-paced.
Oh, they're going to be rocking all. That's not even the least. We're going to get to more stuff they're going to do too. But yeah, they're going to be, and these are world premiere events. Like they're going to show videos of like new games coming out. They're going to show like all of this, or like never before seen this, or it's gameplay footage, and or like new Nintendo, the NX stuff. It's just going to be a lot. So
Yeah.
it's going to be rapid fire.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing that music a lot. The get off the stage music.
Oh yeah, or just have the hook. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
No, and that's kind of cool for these award type shows. They can get really dry. You know. So I'm actually cool if they keep it moving. I'm like, yeah, sweet, next. Like, what's up? So like the anticipation is cool, but no, let's just go next category. Awesome, next thing, great. So
Yeah.
So yeah, so 10 world premieres. So again, they're really. So how they scored that is pretty amazing to me. So they must have like had some good deals with like all the publishers or game designers. Say, hey, why don't you hold off announcing that to the Game Awards? And you'll get front and center stage with 3, 4, 5 million viewers, and people they're like, you know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I heard one of the premieres is going to be Battlefront 2.
Really?
No, I'm just yeah.
I was like, you know what? I could see that because they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna release at least 3 more Battlefronts. They came out and said that.
They got to fix this one first.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, this one is just fun to play. It's not a big game by any. It's just fun. Like it's not going to win any game of the year. It looks great and it's just fun to play. As far as like an in-depth game with like everything, it's not all there. But like if you just want to like pick it up and just shoot some stuff and fake like you're in Star Wars, it scratches that itch. But it's not going to win any game of the year for sure. It's not on the list.
Right.
But yeah. Have you played it, Jimmy?
Oh yeah.
Do you have what system?
What's that? PS4.
PS4, solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they're pushed in hard on Xbox and PC, but I'm a PS4 guy. But
Got my DL44 and my thermal.
Of course, you gotta do it. You gotta do it big. So yeah, another thing that's gonna happen, which is kind of cool. I thought they're gonna during the Game Awards, they're gonna pay tribute to the late president Satoru Iwata from Nintendo. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. He was the president and CEO since 2002, and he just passed away in July on the 11th this year.
Wasn't he like 50 something or
Yeah,
60?
55, man. Like he got cancer of the gallbladder duct like back in 2014, like July 2014, and then he left the company for a couple months, had treatment, came back in October. And then complications came back in May, and then he left and stepped away, and then he died in July. But they're going to give him like he already got a lifetime achievement award in a couple other venues this year, and they're going to do another tribute to him this year. I thought it was pretty cool because again he did revolutionize a lot for Nintendo, especially like he was CEO during the Wii. I mean, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the cool thing about him too is he was a developer. He was a software developer, and he started from a low rung and then worked his way up. So he wasn't like gifted into like a typical Japanese style, like your family's in this, you're groomed to be an employee. No, he just liked games, and as a kid he used to hang out in Akihabara and like, went to school and started learn how to code games. And in 1980, he just kind of worked his way up, and then he developed a lot of his own games, and he was a president at HAL Incorporated. The company made a lot of games. And he designed all the Kirby games, worked on a lot of Mario games. So he's done a lot, and he was so good at the business side that they promoted him. So
I can't remember. I don't think he is. He's not the guy that actually invented the Mario character, is he? In the 80s?
No. That's not him. But no, he was. He's definitely part of their their business division and kind of just worked his way from the ground up just as a coder. And he hand coded a lot of stuff. So he hand coded a lot of games in Wii and fixes. So like if something be broken and like development team like, and he's like the CEO, he would go in and code it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
like forget boop. You know, it reminds me of the SNL skit where it's like that really nerdy like smart guy, and like he would have to do the tech support for the people in the office, and he'd be like, move, like tell them to get away from their seat, and he'd fix their computer. That's totally what this CEO do. Is just like move.
Yep.
And just
let me do it.
Exactly. Want it done right? Gotta do it yourself.
Yeah, no, yeah. He was a pioneer. He's again. It's good to see that kind of stuff too. You know, someone who came from the ground up and just kind of went through it, and then he did take it in a new imaginative direction. So, but yeah, it's they're paying tribute to him. So that's another cool thing they're gonna do there. So yeah, I like Nintendo. Nintendo makes good stuff, and I'm interested to see their next steps with the NX and everything. You know, so.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Jimmy, you a fan?
The Nintendo Maker looked really cool. The Mario Maker.
Oh, it's awesome, bro.
Like, I actually watched a lot of people on Twitch play that.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that game is ridiculously stupid awesome. That's why it's up for Game of the Year, which we'll talk about. But yeah, that game is cool. So yeah, they're another thing they're going to be doing. So like you said, not only are they doing like the all the awards that'll be sprinkled in, I'm sure, but they're giving out other side awards and doing other things like this good tribute for the late Iwata, and they're also doing an industry icon award they're going to do every year. So it's kind of like the achievement and pioneering skill set or whatever that you did in the industry. So this year for 2015, they're going to honor the Westwood Studios, and they're the people who brought Command and Conquer. So they're going to honor Brett Sperry and Louise Castle, and so they're the creators of Command and Conquer, which basically set the groundwork for all RTSs today. And so they
Westwood. Yeah, it's one of my favorite studios.
Yeah, they've been defunct for a while now, but they were awesome. I mean, Red Alert. They made Dune series. They did a lot of cool stuff, man.
They're so cool.
Yeah, and so again, they're awarding them the Industry Icon Award, and I think that's a pretty cool award for me personally because I like pioneers in industries. I like people who do new things. I like people who do things, and I mean it's all great to play by the books and make your money and be big time, but if you just do something new and then just really set the groundwork, I think that's really, really cool. Because I mean, I'm biased, but I'm a big, huge RTS fan. So I mean, hey, good job, guys. Westwood, I mean, you have to like them. So very, very cool. So that's another thing they're going to be doing. So there you go. So
I salute to Westwood.
There you go. But yeah, but it's a packed show. I mean, it's a packed show. A lot of things to do, like you said. Like now that you guys mentioned it, I'm like, wait. How are they going to cram all that in there?
I know. Keep saying, "Oh, we're going to do that." I'm like, everything's going to be in like 3-minute blasts at this point.
Hey, well, I'll take it. I'll take it. So there you go. So yeah, well, let's. Actually, I think I'll pop this one up to the top then. So yeah, also, it's been teased, but Palmer Luckey is going to come on stage and give a quote special announcement about the Oculus Rift. Oh, Billy. So we'll see what happens there. Have you had any experience with the Rift yet, Jimmy?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a chance to do it the last 2 years at IndieCade is where I kind of got to play with it.
Cool.
It's a great device.
Really? You like it?
Yeah, I love it. It's one of the things in the industry right now that's virtual reality's kind of coming back.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we're again, it's been burning up all news, and again, we talk about it at least once on every episode because it is thing. It's so close right now,
right, to
seeing the future. Because right now the future is so bright for it, but the writing's going to be on the wall. The shit's going to hit the fan. Whatever you want to say soon. Like, what is it? Is it going to be a viable product? Is it people are going to accept it, or is it going to tank? Like
I hope. My hope is that the next generation of consoles will come with the device.
Right. I could see.
Right.
That would be, I mean, in my mind, that would be the best way to implement that system.
Well, they have 5 or 10 years to worry about that, so I could definitely see that. Well,
yeah, I agree.
Xbox One for sure.
Well, then what you have is some competition between the different virtual reality devices, which is good for us, the consumer. If you have Sony that has one kind of device and Xbox with another kind of device and so on and so forth, and Nintendo, then you have people like really trying to amp it up and compete against each other, so the Oculus isn't just like dominating the market.
Right.
Yeah.
You have PlayStation VR. You have the Oculus. Now Microsoft isn't doing VR. They're going AR, but they eventually will go VR if they're smart. And then so you've got some stuff in there. You got the
Team up with Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung got their thing's already out, and I guess it's doing well. People like it. It's cheap too. The Gear VR. It's only $99. It's like it's crazy. And it works with a phone. So if you have an Android phone like I think a 4 or above a Galaxy, then you're good to go, and it just like sets it all up. It's crazy. But yeah. So there's gonna be an announcement. So what do you think? Like, is it gonna be like a release date or like a price point or like something even crazier? Like, I'm interested to see what that could be.
He's gonna launch it that day.
Oh, that would be sick. Good call.
He's gonna be like, go online right now to this website and buy your Oculus Rift.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
He's going to Steve Jobs it. He'll have the turtleneck.
Yeah, exactly. One more thing.
Go on, but you know what? That's actually a good thing. I could see that. Yeah, because he tweeted out there, and then Jeff Keighley teased it. There's so much teasing going on. It's like, oh, like just 10 announcements, or oh, Oculus is going to announce this, or oh, this is like the most teasiest thing ever. I guess they're just trying to get people. It's a great marketing plan. I guess they're going to get a huge viewership. But the
Oculus has to be pretty far. I mean, it's pretty far along to begin with, but then Facebook brought it up. I'm sure Facebook dumped a ton of money into it. So it's got. I would have to say the thing's got to be done by now.
Oh, for sure.
Now it's time to just get it out into the public and just see what happens when people start using it.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So we have. It's also going to be a big time event for people coming in there. They're having a red carpet event before the show. So the show opens up at 4:30 in the afternoon. It starts at 6, and I said around 5 or so, 5:15, there's going to be a red carpet with interviews and cameras and all this stuff. But there's going to be just quick hitter of celebrity lineups who are going to be there. Like Mark Hamill, obviously he's going to be up on the stage announcing some games and doing some stuff. So he's one of the MCs, and Kiefer Sutherland, he's going to be there. He's going to hand out some awards as well, and he's going to be around. Deadmau5 is performing, so we're going to have some action there, and also Skrillex. So we're going to have some techno in the house there. Deadmau5 and Skrillex just like pumping. So that'll be crazy. But then John and I, we talked about this. We also have Shaquille O'Neal. He's going to be out there. He's going to be announcing some games as well.
Superman.
Yeah, speaking of, Shazam. But no, he like you said. Did you find the name of the game? Because I knew which game.
I didn't.
I knew exactly what it was. I just thought it was a different one. But yeah, it's Shaq Fu.
Yes,
Shaq Fu. It was on Sega Genesis too. In 1994, it came out. Yep, Shaq Fu. I actually went online, and you could still play it in a browser online. I played it today.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy. You played Shaq Fu? Oh yeah. Oh god, everything. It was bad. Like Kazam, the movie he was in, it was bad, but I watched it. I played Shaq Fu. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but yeah, so he's gonna be there, and so it's they're doing big celebrities, red carpet. Like they're trying to make it pretty gangster. That's all I'm gonna say about that. They're trying to make this a big thing.
Yeah.
I wonder what their budget was this year, because he dropped $1 million last year of his own money. So this one's got to be more than that.
I bet you he wasn't dropping his own money this time. You got Sony and Nintendo and these guys on board. It's in their best interest to drive insane traffic to this too. So I bet you everyone kind of chipped into the pot on this one. Right.
Yeah. I wonder I do wonder what the budget is though, because again, we do events and stuff like that, and so it's just like
I'm sure Shaq and Mark Hamill aren't coming for nothing. So
I mean, of course they are. I mean, actually, they both want to stay relevant now. They're at that point where they're fading.
There's a price tag behind them showing up though too at the end.
It's probably not very high. Their egos is the price point enough. It's like, hey, you want to be in front of like 6 million people? Yes. So but no, you're right. A good 50 grand show fee for Mark Hamill, and then like for Shaq, like 75, 80.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Here you go, Shaq. Give out this award, say this little speech, and here's 100 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then sit in the front row. Stretch your legs out. Be big.
Yeah, scene. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So that's kind of the show lineup. Like, what are you guys thinking about it so far? Pretty robust, I would say.
I'm excited.
Like I said, I'm interested to see the pace of this thing because that's a lot of stuff for 2 hours.
Well, yeah, it'll be on Twitch and everything. So yeah, check it out. Like again, and I'll wave to you guys. I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
yes.
there you go.
But no, yeah, definitely check it out. I mean, so yeah, another added. Actually, should I? Yeah, we'll go talk about that. An added note is there is an after party with all the celebrity and all the industry bigwigs. So that I actually got invited to. So I'll be doing that too. So they have an after party. So this for Thanksgiving, I went to go see the new movie the night before. Pretty dang funny, by the way. And it's all about this like secret party that no one knows about unless you get an invitation. They announce the party through your phone at like 10 at night, like right before it happens, so no one knows. Well, the same thing with this one. Like they sent me like an RSVP code, and you go in and you type it in, and they send you a verification code, and then they go, the after party will be announced the night of, and use your verification code to get in the door. I was like, wow, okay, cool. So I got one of those. So and the after party goes until like 1:30 in the morning. So it's like
What's the code?
Is
it the Konami code?
Yeah, it's Well, see, that is another thing that I'm going to bring up here in a second. Yeah, but it's just like this crazy algorithm / this code, and I'm like, okay, cool. So
up, down, down.
Well, actually, here, speaking of that, that's one thing I forgot to bring up in news. Amazon actually right now for Black Friday and all this Cyber Week day, Cyber Thursday through whatever. If you go into Amazon and you type in the Konami code, they'll give you discounts on all video games. How sick is that?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, they give you 20% off. You just do UUDD like LRLR, and then you get a code. You don't have to do start select. You don't have to do that. But AB start. You don't have to do that. You just do that up down left right. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I was like, wow, and they give 20% off all video games.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So good job, Amazon.
Props to Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. Two golf claps for you guys. So for being douches and blowing up my email the last 2 weeks, and you get a golf clap for that. But yeah. So this event is going to be pretty crazy. I'm excited to go. We'll see. I better eat my Wheaties and pack 5 Red Bulls because I'm going to be going from leave here because traffic and stuff. Leave at 4, and then I'll be out till 1.
So Ted, do you drink Red Bull, Monster, or Rockstar? Which one?
Ooh, so here's this. I am very caffeine sensitive. I don't mess with caffeine at all because I have hardcore ADHD, and that's just not good. It's just added to my craziness, so we don't mess with that. But I have drinking energy drinks. If I had to choose, it's Rockstar. That was my thing back in the day. In the order of deliciousness or lack of there, it would be Rockstar.
Yeah.
Rockstar, Red Bull, then Monster. I drink all 3, especially in high school. You don't care what you put in your body, but
Red Bull is horrendous. I don't know.
I hate Monsters as well too. I just think it just tastes like weird bubble gum. It's just gross. Rockstar is the best, a sugar-free Rockstar, but I'm good with that.
I think I've had. I'm not I drink coffee, but I don't drink those energy drinks. But I'm sure I had Monster and Rockstar at one point. But I know all I remember is they definitely didn't taste as bad as Red Bull.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Well,
how about you, Jimmy?
Balls.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's
a real energy drink. I'm not just yelling balls.
I know. Balls.
Yeah, that's more like a caffeinated water sort of thing.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
BAWLS. You can get it at Bevmo's out here in California.
Oh, nice. Well, there you go. Well, that's.
I think.
I think that's all we got for me. We were gonna get into all the categories, but I think we got it. It's gonna be pretty cool. We got to get into an interview. We have an awesome gentleman here by the name of Jimmy Vosler that we want to understand what you're developing, what you're working on, man. That's why you're here. Pimp yourself out. You're an expert. You're a subject matter expert. You're here. So
there you go.
We want to hear from you. So we're gonna actually take a quick break, and then we're gonna jump into your interview, and we're gonna have our resident journalist get on it. So let's take a quick break, guys. And we're back. All in one piece. Everybody feel good?
Yeah.
Limber, loose?
I just had a balls.
You did have a ball. Oh man, you're gonna be talking about it like an auctioneer. Hey, whenever
that's right. I'll be able to follow him.
Oh, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
Speed,
John will
though,
be
yeah.
fine. John will be like, speed up. God, talk faster. So yeah, if you haven't been listening, everybody, we have Jimmy Vosler on the show. Awesome developer, producer, podcaster, Bradley Cooper lookalike, all the above. Like I guess
All the above.
all the above, like actor, actor, screen stare adder. The multiple jobs you've had, military Bradley. The list goes on. You're a man of many talents, and now you're in the video game industry. So yeah, without further ado, John, take it away.
Hey, Jimmy, thanks for coming on. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
So you mentioned earlier at the beginning of the episode you're a military brat and traveled all around, and but you mentioned something that was interesting, and you brought up, like, like video games and certain movies are like always there, like they were like kind of like constant in your life. So which of those video games was just like you're just like, I got to go back to this. There's just too much change going on right now. I packed my boxes and bags yet again, for the third time in the third year. So what was like your go-to game that just be like, I'm at home? Like, what was that game?
Absolutely. Well, it couldn't be multiplayer. So
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Basically, when I think about games that I grew up with that I just couldn't keep my hands off of, I'd say pre-PlayStation 1, back when I had a Nintendo, I would say I was a huge Final Fantasy fan. I was really into that game.
Obviously,
the first
3.
one.
Yeah.
The
3,
original
quote,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so what I ended up doing is I would replay the first one over and over again, and this was well into my teens. I mean, I was like a sophomore in high school, and I was like pulling it out to replay it again, but like run a different set of characters, right? So it'd be like all white mage or something extremely difficult.
Oh, that's cool. So even though it's the same game, it was still different.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, it had great replayability, so I would just like mess with. And that was back when the internet was kind of new, but there, and I would find like challenges, and they'd be like, "Oh, go try an all white mage, or go try an all black belt," and I'd be like, "I'm on it."
Nice. That's cool. What did you own after the Nintendo? What was your next system if you didn't have a SNES?
Yeah, so basically, I had kind of a weird jump because I skipped a lot of the stuff in between the Nintendo and the PlayStation, the first PlayStation, which was really strange to do because you go from 2D 8-bit to like 3D world with amazing sound and discs. I was so happy I didn't have to blow on the cartridges anymore and like flip them around and stuff. Yeah,
now you just have to wipe down your discs because they got scratches on them. They won't play.
Right, exactly. I had like the disc cleaner and everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's really so. What made you hang on to the Nintendo for so long? Was it just because you guys traveled around so much and it was just like
Yeah, I mean that was actually part of it. When you're traveling around, here's I think is the big difference between growing up and I think a lot of other kids growing up. So when you are in a group, right? Usually someone in the group, like a child, you can see a bunch of 11 or 12-year-olds, right? They get like a new pair of sneakers, or they get the latest console system, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then everybody else in the group goes, "Hey man, Billy's got like a Super Nintendo. I mean, that's pretty cool." And then you push your parents to like go get the Super Nintendo. But because I was always in like this weird thing where I was like meeting new people and I didn't really, I was a nonconformist, but not because I was like trying to be a hipster, but just because I wasn't in groups long enough to like conform.
Yeah, that makes sense. No,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
so I just go back to my Nintendo, and I didn't think I was none the wiser, really.
Yeah, because you didn't hang out with. I mean, I'm sure you had friends or whatever, but you weren't constantly with the same people. And like you said, that scenario wouldn't come up where Billy gets the new whatever because you weren't around long enough to see people get the new whatevers.
Right, exactly. I mean, I would see it on the TV, and I'd go, "Hey, that looks pretty cool, Dad." And my dad would be like, "Nope."
Man, so then, from the Nintendo, so then did you go over to PS2? Is that the first?
Yeah,
system?
so that's I became a Sony junkie basically, and I went PS1, PS2. I skipped the 3 because at that point I was an early adult and I became like PC master race at that point.
Oh,
Ah,
nice.
okay.
And I was also in college around that time, so it was like consoles. That's for suckers.
Yeah, yeah, no, I hear it. My son is a PC gamer all the way. He
Yeah.
we have a Xbox and Wii, but he doesn't bother with those.
I'm a game agnostic.
Right. I like to consider myself an agnostic gaming, but that's not always the case.
Right.
Like I haven't played I have never owned an Xbox, and I haven't
Same.
played very many Xbox games. So
Same. I'm going to pick one up soon, but yeah, I do not have Xbox. And again, I always mention it. It's the reason why I leaned Sony. Well, I mean, because PlayStation came out, but I can't stand Xbox controllers. So I was like, nope, not doing it. Even though I like the games on Xbox, I just couldn't deal with the controller. So then I
they're a
became
little
like
fat, right?
yeah, I became like a Sony fanboy, and then I realized that that's lame. It's just all games are cool.
Right.
I have a lot of PC games too, but yeah, like so now I'm like Xbox One. I want one.
Yeah, we just need to stop fighting and put down the pitchforks and
Yep.
just we're all gamers.
Exactly. So again, earlier in the episode, you mentioned how you just had kind of various jobs and stuff, and now for the past few years, you got into programming, like into developing these games. So when you're playing these games like Final Fantasy, or when you started playing the PS1 or PS2 games, was there anything about those that you were just like, yeah, someday I'm gonna be like developing these or like involved in them, with them, the creation of them? Was there anything like that gave you kind of that aha moment that said that's where you want to be someday?
It's funny. I never had that aha moment when I was a kid. Never had it through high school or college, even. To be honest, I'm one of those kind of people that I think I'm coming into the fold very late. I really envy those people that kind of figured out where they wanted to go early on and got all that development experience leading up and, maybe into their teens and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was never an option for me growing up. I mean, I was a military brat. I was surrounded by the military. Every one of, my family was like, making games as a career was never an option.
Right.
And not because they were like forcing me to be one thing or another. It's just, it never was talked about as an option. I just thought they were magical. I thought they came out of thin air.
I hear you. No, I hear you.
Same.
And so I kind of missed that like calling, so to speak.
So how did you? I mean, because you mentioned you caught sort of like that acting bug like 5 years ago. How did you transition from that into like? How did you all of a sudden, especially with no?
I just woke up one day.
Yeah, especially with no, quote unquote, sort of developing skills. Because I mean, you said you're in kind of an IT solution sort of background, but obviously you had to learn like C# and some other stuff if you're doing Unity. So
Right.
how did you go from sort of that acting bug and then just waking up being like, I feel like learning how to program C#?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it was, if you really like go back and look at it, it kind of was like that. But there's definitely some things that happened that led up to that made me make that decision. I like I said, I never really thought of making games as a career, but I knew entertainment was right for me. And I knew that was like, I wanted to be either an entertainer or create content or, I mean, that's kind of what it came down to. I knew I could do it. And that was my calling, so to speak. And then I came out to LA, and like many people, fairly quickly got disenchanted with Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
And I think most people that move out to Southern California kind of either have a story about that or know someone that has a story about like coming out here and just being like, what is this place? I don't understand it. And I mean, it's not, I'm still in the business, so I'm not saying that like completely negatively, but I definitely had a moment where I was like, because when you come out here, you have these ideas. You're like, I'm going to be a producer, or I'm going to be a director or an actor. And then you get out here and you start doing the job and you meet people. And, I started meeting producers and working for producers. And I said, I don't really want to do this.
Exactly.
This isn't really very fun.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what happened to me. But then I remember I stayed in touch with a good friend of mine who's my development partner now, Joey Labonte. He's an amazing developer and coder. He's the guy that I started Trollbird Studios with, which is our game development company. I stayed in touch with him when I moved out here. We worked together at Northrop Grumman as software testers years before. I actually like made the move, and we just stayed in touch, and we started to do projects together. And we both are gamers, and that's kind of like what brought our friendship together.
Okay.
And I said, I finally kind of sat down and I talked to my wife a little bit about it. I talked to him about it. I said, man, I want to make content, but I don't necessarily feel like television and film is the content that I want to make. I think I want to go interactive media. And he basically said, yeah, man, me too. Let's team up. And that was 4 years ago. And then fast forward to now, we've got a few projects out there. We're working on some new things. We're prototyping. I mean, we're having a really good time.
Okay, so one step before that, like, so how did you pick up C# then with no sort of coding skills? Did your friend give you some tips? Did you just watch videos? I mean, because I'm sure there's people listening going, wow, if this guy didn't really have any necessarily, quote unquote coding skills, and within, a few years, boom, look at what he's doing, that's going to give some people hope. So how did you go about it?
Absolutely. So I actually, Joey and I came up with an idea. We said, and this was 3 years ago. I went to my first Indiecade, and I met this guy at Indiecade. His name's going to slip me, but if I can remember it, I'll definitely say it. He basically gave a talk about games in history, and he went through each game in history, and he started back like with games that were developed for like the Atari and stuff. And he talked about Breakout, and he talked about Mario, and like he just went through the history of gaming thing. And I thought, man, and he like got down to like the technical details of the game. And he said, the reason why Space Invaders speeds up, I don't know if you guys know this, the reason why Space Invaders speeds up as the game goes on is because the game originally didn't have very much memory. And as the assets would be destroyed, the game would be able to, the memory would be freed up, and the game would go faster. And that's why the little aliens that are invading you in Space Invaders speed up and go faster. And it actually became a mechanic that, a lot of people, when they clone it, they clone that mechanic.
Yeah.
And that was a big aha moment for me, because I said, okay, look, you know what I should do? I should go back. I should clone a few, pick like a couple games, clone these games, figure out mechanically what they did, figure out like the limitations, and then like maybe put my own spin on it if I have time. And that was a big one for me. I mean, when you get down, and the nice thing about cloning a game is there's usually a lot of resources out there about how to do things, right?
Sure.
You learn about loops. You learn about the difference between a for loop and a while loop, like basic coding things that you would not necessarily understand right away, but then you put it in game terms, and you put it in terms that you kind of understand, because you understand the game rules, right? I mean, everyone knows the rules of Space Invader. You can move the spaceship left and right. You can fire. Okay, you try and take out the aliens. They're coming down. It's a vertical game. The rules are all there, and having a basis understanding of how the game works and the rules makes it so much easier to understand and learn and clone and learn the code to make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if there's good comments within the code too. Like, oh, this next line is how we make the aliens fall from the top or whatever, like that way we can see how everything's happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Luckily we live in an age where you can go on YouTube and find some amazing tutorials where people walk you through each line of code.
Wow, that's really cool. So all right, so now bring us up to speed. Tell us, about your studio and some of the stuff that you've worked on, current projects. Let us know what's going on with everything now.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big projects that we have out there in the wild right now is we decided, once we got comfortable with developing in Unity, we said, hey, let's do something kind of crazy. Let's make Legend of Zelda in Unity.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
We were like, okay, let's do it, man. We went back and we figured out the rules. We figured out the dimensions, the cameras. We figured out, how to spawn monsters, in a way that it's room dependent, right? And we figured out all these things that Zelda did. And we said, man, this is pretty cool. And we actually had a working Legend of Zelda game, like original Legend of Zelda. And we had so much fun with it, and we learned so much from it that we decided to go ahead and make a top-down 2D RPG kit for Unity for other developers. And we went ahead and made that. We released that a couple months ago, and it's been so far. It's been really successful. People really dig it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool.
So that's one of the,
So that allows you to sort of build somewhat like an engine within the engine, kind of.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Unity asset store is amazing.
Man, that's really cool that you guys did that. That's awesome.
And that was like that was our big first game development project. And that's like ongoing too, because as we're getting feedback and people using the engine, we're like, okay, let's add some interactivity. Let's add this. Let's add the push boulder puzzle from Zelda that everybody loves. Things like that.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
And
Really
that's
cool.
exactly what it's become. It's basically become this like 2015 Zelda, and we're working on it every month and trying to make it better. And I think it's an ongoing project that's going to have an amazing end state once we're finished with it.
Cool.
Did you picture that happening when you're like, hey, let's kind of put this up here and see what happens? Did you think it would kind of turn into what it's turning into?
No, absolutely not. I honestly, we were both a little. When you're developing, so here's the thing. Okay, so when you're developing a game, and you're like, okay, let's make a video game. Okay, let's get great. Let's make a game, and you go in and you start coding it and everything, and maybe something, a mechanic or some sort of feature or something in the game, and it's like it kind of works, right? But the code's dirty.
Yeah,
It's like spaghetti code.
Right.
But if it works, you can release it, right?
Right.
As
No
long
one's
as it
going
works.
to
Nobody's going to see that, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
it's the back end stuff. Unless there's a game breaking glitch,
Yeah,
like someone
exactly.
saves something and it latches onto one of those pieces of code that you didn't expect. But other than that, all that back end stuff,
Exactly.
no one. It's 20%. You interact with 20% of the game of the code.
Yeah, and the consumer's none the wiser, right? I mean, they don't know that the jump mechanic is like this horribly written mechanic in the back end on the code, and it barely hangs in there, but it gets the job done.
It moves
Right.
player from this to this. There you
Right.
go. Using weird pixel shifts instead of moving the character.
So you can get away with doing that with a game as long as it works, right? But if you're developing for other developers, you can't do that.
Can they see the code when you release this framework in the Unity store?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
So there's this like tension there because it's like you're giving your code away.
Right, and you guys, I'm sure when you're putting it together, you're like, oh, we're going to put this in the Unity store. Like you probably would just, doing it at first, and like so everyone's going to see all these like hacks that you did.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Oh man, this is some ugly stuff.
What is this parameter? It's not even used. And then you see like silly comments like this doesn't work. Can you look at it?
Yeah. No, exactly.
Entire sections of the code commented out that at least don't work. So we had to go back and look at that and like, okay, we really, because what we're really selling is the code.
Right.
So we had to go back and clean it up and be like, okay,
That's
this needs
funny.
to be solid.
That's
one of the major differences for developing a game for commercial release versus developing for other developers to use your stuff.
Mm. So with that practice of going back in and kind of just tweaking up and prettying out the code for the framework, does that not that you would totally just heave code over the wall with a game, but does it make you want to be more careful now with like the coding of a game, like after having to go back and clean stuff up with the framework?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our documentation is so everything's just so well documented. I mean, we have framework maps. We understand how everything interacts with each other. I mean, Joey is an amazing developer. Like I said, he understands how important, understanding how one system interacts with another, because our code is modular and it's built modularly so that you can only, you don't have to use everything if you don't want to. If you just want to use the rock puzzle, okay, that's just a few scripts. That's, maybe 2 or 3 scripts at the most. If you want to use maybe the scene transition scripts, and if you want to just take advantage of being able to go back and forth between scenes, that's just the one thing in itself, which is great. But you have to make sure that all of these different systems interact with each other and
Work
play nicely
together. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So let us know about the latest game that you guys are working on.
Yeah, so we actually just released an alpha version of it. We threw it out on Congregate because we wanted to try and get feedback. And it's actually the Impossible video game quiz. I don't know if you guys ever played the Impossible quiz.
Yes.
That was going online for a little bit, and there was like a few clones that came out with it. We decided to get like micro with it and be like, okay, let's make an Impossible video game quiz that just focuses on video games and like go after gamers and see if they can like beat our game and like test their video game knowledge.
Ooh, sounds like the boss battle.
Sounds a little bit like that.
It's almost like it's very similar to what you guys do. And I listened to last week's podcast and I said, oh man, you know what? They're gonna fry me on this one, and I'm gonna feel so. It's karma for getting me back for all my asinine questions that I put in my video game quiz.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So how has it been on? How's the response been on Congregate? Have people been giving you any feedback?
Yeah, we got some off the book feedback from people, and it seemed to really enjoy it. No feedback yet. We've got like a subreddit for it. And you can go out to Congregate. I'm sure you guys probably maybe put some, links in the chat or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we basically have a subreddit for it called the Video Game Quiz, and we really want to like interact with people and like get people to go out and play it and argue with us about the questions and submit new questions. And I mean, we're ready for it, man. I mean, we like, you want to argue with me about how, big Solid Snake's boot size is? Let's go.
Nice.
Well, actually, yeah, I did the pixel versus his height equals this and that. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's cool.
How fast is Mario running miles per hour, bro? I know the math.
Well, technically, yes. Feet per second. If Mario is exactly 4 feet tall, when he's small, when he's big, he's 5'3". Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, for sure.
So that's a game that we're out right now. That's an alpha, and we'll be releasing that soon. We're going to quickly go into beta, and then we're going to put that on mobile for Android. And
sweet!
Oh, that's
out there. Yeah, and then we have a third game that we're prototyping right now, where it's basically Tron meets Marble Madness.
Oh,
ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, sounds different.
Marble Madness. I had Marble Madness on my Commodore 64, baby.
Oh yeah, I mess around with Tron a lot too. So, can you explain how that works at all, or how you think about making it work? Yeah,
sure. So we already have some working prototypes, and we're really excited about it. It's just fantastic. Mechanically, it's just fantastic. Basically, the point of the game is to try and get a ball through a maze that's very Tron-like.
So there's a trail behind the ball, or the other balls moving, or how does that work?
Yeah, so that's the part of the game that the player takes. So they get in there and they have to use basically effectors to try and move the ball around. But the thing is though, is you can only place so many of these things around the board. Right. So you're limited in how many you could use, and so you can make the ball go forward.
If you pick one up, can you like put it back down? Is that the thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
And you can iterate through the level to try and get through the puzzle.
Right. Okay. I'm tracking.
Cool.
And obviously we're gonna have like some mechanics and things in there that like basically rate how quickly or how well you get through the level. And there's things in there to like try and stop you. Like there's like buzz saws and stuff that'll just like chop up the ball. It's a really great game. We're really excited to get into it and like actually start like iterating through it. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That is really cool. So Jimmy, what was, again, I want to jump in here, like the inspiration that kind of made you kind of go towards these games, like the Zelda game, or what was your inspiration behind that? Kind of made you start with that, and then what kind of got you making the Impossible Quiz one, and now this Tron-like game? Like what creative juices got that flowing? Right.
So what happens at most indie studios, I would say, and I could say this with fairly, I could say this with a lot of confidence. I think most indie studios, and we did it, and I think everybody does it, starts
game jams.
Yeah. And they start and they start too big, and they're like, "Oh, let's make an RPG," but then they don't really think
We're
about
making
what
a Fallout
goes
clone
into that. Right? Exactly. It's like, why don't we just make Final Fantasy VII? It'll be great, And so we actually got to that when we started making games. We realized fairly quickly, within a few months, we're going too big. We need to go smaller. And we said, look, we remade Legend of Zelda. why don't we go look at what we did? We both got really excited about it. We had some amazing mechanics in it. I think we figured it out. Like we figured out the room dependent camera sliding back and forth, right? So why don't we go back and develop this and actually throw it on the Unity store and see if people want to use it? And that's it. It worked out for us. But we definitely had to go back and not dumb things down, but just go look at what we were trying to do and go we need to stick with just a few mechanics and make things at a smaller scope. And so that's where some of these ideas came from. It's let's make a quiz game. The game is extremely interactive in that you don't just go and hit A, B, C, or D. There's little puzzles and things like that. But that's basically where we are coming from with that. And as growing up playing the original Final Fantasy over and over again, you could see why a top-down RPG game would just be one of the first things that I'd want to create.
Of course.
But we couldn't do it all at once, so we're we need to break this up into different mechanics, and that's exactly what we did with the Unity Asset project.
That's cool. That's actually a really good approach to take where, like you said, choose, 2 or 3 of your favorite mechanics and build a game around that. And then, however many, years down the road or whatever, you can then look back and say, hey, we worked on this mechanic, this one, this one, this one, this one. Now we know how to utilize all this. Now let's put all this into one game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Now, one last question for me is one cool thing that when we interviewed the developer working on a game called Failure, and he talked about within Unity, you can port it to Oculus.
Yeah.
Have you tried doing that with I think the marble the marble game would be awesome, I think, on the Oculus.
I haven't thought of that. That is a good idea, though.
Yeah, he said there's easy. There's a little checkbox. Clicks it
Yeah,
and makes it VR.
it's one of the export functions within Unity now, and I was like, really? That's pretty cool.
That would be so rad. Yeah, absolutely.
What Unity version are you using right now?
5.0.
Okay, you guys are up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we decided to go ahead and graduate ourselves to 5.0. That's where we started our asset project because we figure, we got to look to the future. Eventually, 4.6 or whatever is going to be something that's
deprecated. So
yeah, exactly. And we were worried about that, and that's something we considered. The other thing too is 4.6 was the first time Unity started taking 2D really seriously. And they've made a lot of improvements since then.
No, that's cool. Now, how long are the versions usually good for?
I think it's good for, I'm gonna say, if I had to guess, probably at least 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
If you can manage, there's still people that are developing in 3. They're just having to, do some of the stuff themselves that maybe Unity that provides in future iterations.
Yeah.
They just go in there and they create it themselves, but they're talented enough to do that, right? So
that's cool. Awesome. I'm out, Ted. You got anything else on your end?
No, that's good. So, Jimmy, do you have anything that we need to know about, or listeners need to know about your games, where to find them, what's awesome about it, or how to find you?
Yeah. So you can find us at trollbridgestudios.com.
And then how you spell that's Trollbridge, like a troll living under a bridge?
Exactly.
Sweet.
All one word. Go check out our site. You can, it's just reach out to us, support at trollbridgestudios.com. Check out our, we put our asset tool on there. We're going to put all of our games on there. They're going to be on there. So just check that site when you can. And also, we're on Twitter at trollbridgedev.
Nice.
Yeah. And then mine is just Jimmy Vosler. You can definitely reach out to me on Twitter. I love talking games, and I love
and
just
that's the awesome thing about this show. We bring on people and developers. You can play the games, but you can actually talk to the devs. Come on, do
Exactly.
that, people. They want to talk to you. They want to hear from you. I'm sure Jimmy wouldn't mind some feedback or even playing the game with you.
Talk to me.
So far, it seems like everyone's that we've interviewed is
so cool.
Hit me up on Twitter though.
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
more popular.
Yes, Twitter.
Yeah,
yes, please.
I do know this again from my position is in the gaming industry from the business side that yes, Twitter is an indie dev's best friend. So if you want to get into the gaming industry, Twitter is where you do with indie devs. They are on Twitter for sure.
I also have a podcast I do with a friend out here who's a writer in Hollywood called Combo Breakers too, and that's you can please come listen to us, hang out. That's
It's on
Copperfishers
iTunes, SoundCloud, Android. You can get that anywhere.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's on
There you-
SoundCloud and everything.
Sweet. Well, awesome, Jimmy. Well, we appreciate it, and next time we'll talk a little bit more. But first, you know what time it is.
Oh man, it's boss battle time, Jimmy.
I'm so scared.
Yeah. It's time to
Be afraid.
be very afraid. So at the end of every interview, you know what happens. It's time to battle the boss. Do you know who the boss of the week is?
Is it Joker?
No, it's not. It is GlaDos from
GlaDos.
Portal. From Portal. Oh, you know the passive aggressive.
GlaDos, no.
Yeah, you know the passive aggressive. Well, just plain aggressive, narcissistic, sinister, supercomputing, evil, comical, hilarious, artificial intelligence system that's hell bent
Right.
on testing subjects insanely. You know,
The cake
yeah,
is a lie.
that chick /
Yeah.
robot. Yeah. So that's who you're fighting.
It's a fat-
Exactly. So just a quick rundown of the rules. If you haven't listened before, and if you don't know the rules, Jimmy, we're going to go over them. So the boss battle is a series of questions. They can be user-sourced, or we choose them ourselves. If you are a listener and you want to send in a question, you can do it on social media. Just use the hashtag boss battle. Send us questions. Or you can email us at our email address, jtexgamecast@raptorcow.com, with a boss battle in the subject line. So the first 4 levels, Jimmy, are normal levels, and they increase in difficulty. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the 5th level is the actual encounter with the boss of the week, which in this instance for you is GlaDos. For the first 4 levels, it's 60 seconds in time, and then for the last final level, it's 30 seconds. So you can warp between any of the first questions as we go through. If you don't know an answer, it's basically like a pass or skip, and in time permitting, you can return back. Make sense so far?
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Okay. You get 1 power-up where you can make any question 50-50. After the first 4 levels, we review the levels. Okay, so you get 1 power-up for the first 4 levels and in 60 seconds to complete them. If you get 4 for 4, you get an additional power-up for the boss battle. So it's in your best interest to go 4 for 4 in the first rounds, in the first levels. Okay?
Got it.
And the final encounter is a subject generally loosely based on games, but kind of blends games and reality, and with emphasis on science because I'm a science nerd. And then lastly, if you get 5 out of 5, which nobody has, you get into our Hall of Champions. Any questions, my man?
I don't have any questions.
No questions from the question generator who created the question? Come on. What? You should be telling me the questions for this. But John, what is the interesting statistic about the boss battle, about the winners?
So far, the winners have only been named Ed, so it's not looking good for you.
Okay.
Not looking too great. Your name is not Ed, is it? Did we
No,
miss something? Oh,
But
Well-
Chase gave a good run last week, though. He went 4 for 4, and I thought he was about to
Take
take on the boss.
Was
but-
Chase using the internet?
you know what? We're gonna go into that. We're gonna look Googlegate. That's so
Chase Gate.
yeah.
Chase, I'm on to you, man.
I did call him out on it. I just said, hey, I don't know. It seemed like it on one question, so we're gonna move on.
I won't Google anything. I promise. I'm gonna take my hits like a man.
You know, it's okay. Like if you need to do that, you can. But I don't think you're gonna be able to get some of these questions. But are you ready? So your boss battle level 1 starts when I finish reading the first question. 60 seconds on the clock. Jimmy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
John, I know you're ready.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Level 1. The most popular sports video game of all time is named after which former professional coach? A. John Madden, B. Joe Torre, C. Phil Jackson, or D. Tiger Woods?
Hey, John, man.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Level 2. Which bad guy was introduced in Super Mario Bros. 2? A. Koopa Troopa, B. Lakitu, C. Shy Guy, or D. Goomba?
Definitely not the Goombas. It's got to be the guys that can throw eggs at you. Let me use a power up.
It is either C. Shy Guy, or D. Goomba.
Shy Guy.
Final answer?
Final answer.
You have 30 seconds. Which of these bands is not featured in Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock? A. Metallica, B. Weezer, C. Iron Maiden, D. Lynyrd Skynyrd, or E. Black Sabbath?
Oh man.
20 seconds.
Black Sabbath.
Okay, final answer?
Final answer.
Level 4. What was the first game Blizzard Entertainment ever made under that name?
Oh, Vikings.
Final answer?
Final answer.
And
Lost Vikings.
5 seconds left. You good?
I'm good.
And time. Okay. Whew. Man. Increasing difficulty, could you tell? You made it, though. You answered all the questions. You provided an answer to every question. Is it the right answer, though? We don't know. We're going to go and see this. Okay. John, how do you think? What do you think?
I one question I'm not sure on, but I think he possibly got all 4.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a look-see here. So level 1. Level 1 questions are normally easy. I think all guests so far have gotten a level 1 question. So if you fail on this one, then... man, that sucks. Okay, level 1. The most popular sports video game of all time is named after which former professional coach? The responses you could choose from were either John Madden, Joe Torre, Phil Jackson, or Tiger Woods. Your answer was A, John Madden, correct?
Yep.
The answer is indeed John Madden. John Madden football is the most storied franchise of all time in football or in any sports game, and it's pushed John Madden's net worth to like $200+ million. So good job, John Madden, for listening to your name. I know. Well played, sir. Well played. Level 2. Which bad guy was introduced in Super Mario Brothers 2? You used the power-up for this question. The possible answers were A, the Koopa Troopa, Lakitu, Shy Guy, or Goomba. You used the power-up, which narrowed it down to Shy Guy and Goomba. And you chose Shy Guy. Shy Guy is correct. Yes, that is 2 for 2. Shy Guy is right. Yeah, little Shy Guys, little ghost-looking things that walk back and forth, look like dogs with like sheets on their back and like Jason masks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my interpretation of a Shy Guy. Good job. 2 for 2. We're going strong. Level 3. Which of these bands is not featured in Guitar Hero 3: Legends of Rock? Metallica, Weezer, Iron Maiden, Lynyrd Skynyrd, or Black Sabbath?
This was the one I wasn't sure if I had never played Guitar Hero 3, but knowing what I know about a certain band.
Yes. What was your answer?
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath was your answer. This is correct. Yes. Is it? No, it is not correct.
It's Metallica, isn't
No,
it?
it is not. Metallica had 1 in that game. It is Lynyrd Skynyrd, actually.
What?
Lynyrd
Okay.
Skynyrd is not present in Guitar Hero 3: Legends of Rock. Yeah, because Metallica 1 is in that. Weezer.
That song actually made me want to play guitar.
Yeah, My Name is Jonas is in there. Fade to Black. Actually, yeah, I that's one of my best, my favorite Guitar Hero games. I played the crap out of that game. So Lynyrd Skynyrd. Oh, so not 4 for 4, but 2 out of 3 so far. 1 question to go. So you're not getting the power up for the boss, but it's okay. And the last question was, what was the first game Blizzard Entertainment made under that name? So under the name Blizzard Entertainment. And you said The Lost Vikings, correct?
Yes.
The Lost Vikings is one of the first games that they created, but it was not under the name Blizzard Entertainment.
Oh no!
The first game they made under Blizzard Entertainment was Blackthorn, and it came out in 1994.
Trick question.
Yeah, it was in the answer. It was right there. It said under that name. Oh man. So 2 out of 4. You are bloody.
Came out gate strong and fell apart at the end.
Yeah, 2. Oof.
I Tom Brady'd it.
Yeah, you did. You're nice. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's okay. You're still alive. You know what? You're bloodied. You're hurting. You're limping. Your sword's cracked in half. You're down to no potions, but you're at the boss battle. And GlaDos is kind of staring at you through her computer eye and checking you out. And
GlaDos.
Yeah. Okay. So no power up, but are you ready to take on GlaDos right now?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, so GlaDos, as everyone knows, is from the Portal series. Pretty awesome games. I love those games, actually. I just actually beat Portal 2 again last year. I played through it again. But yes, here we go. So your boss encounter begins when I finish reading the entire question. So you get 30 seconds. Okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
GlaDos stands for Genetic Lifeform and Disk Operating System and is obviously a murderous machine. As an advanced AI system in charge of operating and overseeing human testing facility, she/it breaks away from normal function and begins terrorizing the player after murdering the other test subjects. Your question. In early science fiction, and now with our advancements in the field of artificial intelligence today, there have always been concerns of AI becoming sentient and taking over humanity. Author Isaac Asimov laid out principles that should be programmed into artificial intelligence and robots to prevent this as a fail-safe. What are Asimov's laws?
Asimov's laws. This is like iRobot, right?
I am providing no assistance. Does not compute.
It's like I think it's got to be like the command sort of even. I'm gonna go
15 seconds.
How many are there?
I cannot say it. There are 3.
3. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go
10
with
seconds.
Thou shalt not kill. Let's go with
5 seconds.
Thou. Don't hurt a human being. Unless another human being is being hurt. That's 2, right?
And time. That's it. That's all you got.
Is that 3?
Okay, and I'll give you some bonus time. Get you one more answer. I'll let you get a third one in. What do you got for the third question? Or your third? Anything?
I can't think of anything else.
Oh,
That's the only thing I can think of
okay,
is just don't hurt people.
Alrighty, so John, ouch. The question was about Asimov's laws, which yes are the laws of robotics, which are a failsafe to hopefully prevent a dystopian future like Terminator or iRobot, right? Mm-hmm. So the laws are the laws of robotics, and there are 3. You did not get them, so you did not defeat the boss this week.
None of them?
Oh, none. I'm going to read them to you, but oh, man, GlaDos she's laughing. She's making you test until you can't run anymore. She's making fun of your weight and how fat you are. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Well, the answers were, number 1, the rule number 1 for all robotics is a robot may not injure a human being through inaction or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. So that's number 1. A robot.
Wait, that's kind of close.
Yeah, you were kind of close. Yeah. You said like thou shalt not kill, or thou shalt not harm a human being.
Yeah, I turned it into like commandments.
Moses. I should call you Moses.
Right.
Yeah. So you got number 1 kind of. I would have gave it to you. Right. All right. So there you go. Number 2, a robot must obey the orders given to it by a human being, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Right. Yeah, or number 3 is a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. Wow,
that's some confusing stuff right there.
Right? Yeah. So basically, don't hurt a human, or don't sit around and let a human get hurt. You must obey a human unless it's going to hurt a human, and protect yourself unless you're hurting a human.
Right.
Or the orders you're protecting yourself. Yeah. So that's it. There you go. But those are the laws of robotics. You lost. You are going home with, what do we say, Jonathan?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing, sir. But you know what? You had a valiant effort. You came out of the gate strong. You tripped at the finish line, but maybe these are some questions you can use in your game. And, you could test them out, and then you can stick me on your podcast and kind of bring John and I through the gambit.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that Guitar Hero question. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to hit the topic of the week and get out of here. That boss battle was really something. Maybe if he had a little support during the encounter, that would have helped. Support in gaming? Well, that's exactly what RaptorCow does for you. If you're a game developer or a company in the gaming industry, let RaptorCow be your power-up. We offer creative production assistance, marketing, business development, and our high score program, all designed to take you to the next level. Let RaptorCow help you bring your ideas into reality. Go to RaptorCow.com for more information right now. Seriously, pause the episode and go there. Like now. I'll wait. Hi, guys.
Yo.
How we doing? How you feeling there?
I'm kind of beat up, but I think I'll make it.
It's okay. You know what? You did good. No one really beats the boss. The 2 wins we've had were accidents. I guess the second Ed, was a good one. He actually nailed that one. But the first Ed was a complete accident. So
this happened to be Ed Moore.
And he's a Buccaneers.
It is Ed Moore. Yes, Ed Moore.
That guy.
He got that one right. He did a good job. Yeah, he did good. The first Ed, my buddy Ed, he accidentally, and he's a Bucks fan, which is weird too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
A Bucks fan?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? Of all the teams. That's why the title of the episode is Bucks Fans Still Exist? ?
That's a valid question.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, every episode we have our guests bring a topic of the week. You bring a very cool topic that is so broad, but I think you kind of have it focused, or you brought up some good examples of kind of where we want to go with it, and I loved it. So, gonna fire away. Actually, if Ed's listening, Ed, you would really like this topic because Ed came on episode 6, and that's what he does for a living. So, awesome. Jimmy, go and take it away. What's your topic?
So my topic is gamification, which is basically a term that was coined by a guy named Nick Pelling, which is funny that we were talking about Turtles before because he actually coded the original NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, solid.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the hardest game ever.
It is a hard game.
Battletoads and
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So this guy, he's a really brilliant guy. He's a programmer and inventor. He worked on a bunch of games like Wing Commander and Duke Nukem and stuff, like all the household name stuff back in the 80s and 90s. And basically, so he coined this term gamification, which is basically the idea behind it is that you use the natural human desires that we all have as human beings, like socialization and learning and competition and achievement and status and things like that. And you develop systems that basically meet these requirements, and it can be applied to really anything. I mean, the big things that I like to talk about in terms of its application is social media and marketing.
Mm-hmm. That's our wheelhouse. That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a huge marketing tool. It didn't really. It was this guy Nick was like way ahead of his time. It didn't really catch on until like 2010. So it's actually still kind of like a new thing.
Yeah.
But basically, companies have been forming and dedicating significant efforts to actually gamifying things, and they're developing and making themselves available to make these gamification platforms that are becoming like really popular.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know, like I said, it's all about fulfilling these desires that we already have within ourselves, and it makes, for the most part, the genius behind gamification is it makes usually mundane tasks like work or traveling fun and exciting, and it gamifies it.
Yeah. I think that I'm not going to remember the name of. There's a website, and I think they also have like an Android/iOS app. It's called. I'm not going to remember the name of it. I'll try and find it for the show notes. But essentially, there was this website where it created like a sort of like an RPG game. Habit. That's what I think it's called. Habit.
Yep, Habit.
Absolutely. That's one of the examples that I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so cool how you can like set up these certain tasks. Like, okay, for today I got to make sure I make this phone call, pick up my dry cleaning. You can set these things, and if you meet those tasks, you then reward yourself within Habit, and you can gain like experience points and stuff like that. I thought that was a genius way to like you said, kind of gamify your life and make mundane things. Maybe if it's not even necessarily exciting, but it makes it more tolerable or more. It just takes the edge off the oh man, I gotta do this, and it just makes it at least forward to doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you see it.
Have you guys heard? Have you guys heard of the game or the app called Pact?
No.
So you earn cash for exercising and eating right. So like what you do is you wager some money, and it uses your location services. So you put the location of your gym, and you say, hey, okay, this week I'm going to wager this much money, and I'm going to go to the gym 6 times, right? And if you hit the gym 6 times, and it has a parameter, you have to be there for 30 minutes or whatever with the location on it or with your phone. If you go 6 times, you get the money, and it pays you for that. But if you don't go, you owe them the money.
No kidding.
So yeah, and so like they gamify, and then they give you like points you can cash out, and they give you like credit and like different levels, and you can go double or nothing. The higher your level is, you get more payout, and so it's like a level. And so there's totally that. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, I know what he's talking about. And in marketing, also for like small businesses or even larger businesses, for the gamification, an easy way to gamify things, just the most simple, is a loyalty program. Boom, a punch card.
Exactly.
Boom,
right.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yay, I get this many points, and okay, I'm whoa. Yeah.
So I have a Starbucks example for that.
Uh-huh.
So Starbucks, I think you guys have the loyalty program?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you have it on your app?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, uh-huh. Yep.
Okay. So you guys are getting gamified though. You know that.
Totally.
Yeah. So basically, because this, I mean, most people, I think Starbucks is incredibly popular. So I think most people who go to Starbucks often have that rewards program on their phone. But I mean, that is like the ultimate marketing gamification in terms of like how marketing uses it and fulfills those like natural human needs. So, for those that don't know it, it's like you go to Starbucks and what otherwise would be a very mundane task, buying a cup of coffee, becomes this like exciting thing where you can go in and you can get gold stars, and they like when you buy a cup of coffee, you get a gold star in your app, and then that works towards levels. I mean, they literally call it levels in the app. Like you have like the welcome level, the green level, the gold level, right?
Well, this is a new thing in my household because my girlfriend, she works really early in the morning, and every morning for the last 9 years she goes to Starbucks in the morning and gets her little turkey bacon sandwich and a cup of coffee every morning for 6 days a week for 9 years. And so This is like the last couple of months I was like, do you know how much money you could be saving if you got in their loyalty program?
Always a great question to ask a female. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and she's like, what? So I broke it down, and I was like, she's like, wow, yeah, okay. So we signed up for it, and granted, they get you by you have to put money on the card. Like they're really smart about it. They're really smart, but it was kind of I looked past the gamification aspect of it and just like, dude, you could save like $180 a year by the free coffee you can get. Like that's just a novelty thing. Like $180 in your pocket, sure, but for the average person who doesn't really go that much or just doesn't really care, it's just that's totally like, oh my god, I could do this, and it is a game. It's just that, like I said, like we always talk about the Pavlov's thing, like the ring the bell. Oh, I'm getting rewarded. This is fun. Oh, this is great. Do it again.
Well, and you're
dopamine.
And you're also going to think twice about when you're not going to go to Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh, I have one more punch card. I have one more.
Oh,
point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's
Just a couple more stars.
Yeah, if you could be closer to coffee shop X, but you could be like, oh, if I don't go to Starbucks, that's going to be one less coffee I buy there, and that's going to put me a day or two behind of getting my next level. And they're going to be like, forget it. They're going to drive across town and go to Starbucks.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very cool. I think as far as from the marketing standpoint, like, hey, look what they can do, because people in general, like, we don't really think about it. We just want to save time. We just want to go. But if you stop if you stop and think about like what you're getting bombarded with on a daily basis, like if you just like those type of things, they are getting you like hardcore. And it's just the raw nature of humans to be competitive, B, to be rewarded and want to get more. It's that whole hunter-gatherer thing. It's our instincts to find a node that gives you reward and to continue that. It's like, you have a monkey at a zoo. Like, hey, when I put this peg in the hole, I get a banana. Keep putting the peg in the hole. Great. The more pegs I do, the more bananas I get. Great. If I do it really fast, I get a banana and a lollipop. Uh-oh. So, it's just like, wow. And it's like gold star. Yeah, it's just this cycle that, now we've tapped into. And it even extends to, here we go, John, the free-to-play game market.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Absolutely. And going down that dark path again. But it's amazing because that's kind of taking it away from gamification because that's a game. But they can make anything into that now. You can slap the free-to-play model on doing your dishes. That's the free-to-play game model. You can just make it a game. And it's an interesting thing. And I think when you were talking to me about the topic, the most interesting thing I thought about was at the workplace, like within companies, they do it that way. And I think that is the most interesting way, like as an incentive for people to work harder instead of just, creating an environment that, breeds that. Like with my company, I have this, my company value is what I said. I like to make it just part of the values. But a larger corporation is a little more difficult. So gamifying it is just the most raw, basic way to do it. And it's so interesting how it works.
I have some experience with gamifying work.
Tell us.
Actually, so have you guys heard of Trello?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had these guys.
The CRM software, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like a to-do list on steroids. Right?
Yeah, I have it on my phone right now.
It's really good. So I had these two guys that were doing work for me, and I was overseeing their work. I was basically tasking them out, and we had quite a lot of work to do, and it was this huge project where we were moving large amounts of assets from one database to another, and that can be like it's very boring work. but you have to do it. And there's like a manual aspect to it that was just extremely boring. And we used Trello to basically create like a project Bible. And we had all of the tasks, everything laid out in Trello, and we made these little checkboxes and stuff. And we did this for a couple of weeks, and we were doing the checkboxes thing, and you can move things around and like do the done list and everything. And there's basically when you check all the boxes in the checklist, the little box turns green, which means that you're done. I was like, and I remember having a conversation. It was like a team meeting or something, and I just brought up just in passing. I was like, "Hey, is Trello like working for you guys? Like, can I keep tasking you out that way and having you guys like, go get the checkbox?" They're like, "Yes, it's awesome." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "This is just checkboxes, right?" They're like, "No, it's super cool. Like, we get to go in and like we check in the morning and we see like how many checkboxes that we can check off that day." And then like when it turns green, we get so excited and we like move it into the done column, right? And unwittingly, I had basically gamified their otherwise extremely mundane, boring work.
That's funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's funny
they were
too.
just really into it.
Yeah, it's funny too because I mean it was just check boxes and that turned into a green box. So I mean even that it shows you it doesn't have to be like this elaborate.
Nope.
I don't want to say scheme, but this elaborate, thought out, plotted out thing. It could be something as simple as check boxes that turn into a green box.
Right. And luckily, I think I got lucky with their personality types too. I think it takes a certain type of person to like checkboxes because not everybody's into it.
Well, if you're doing databases, you like check boxes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, gross.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, the gamification topic is pretty amazing because it's the more mainstream video games become and the more technology that we stick in our face, the more that is an easier way to do it. Because before technology, gamification was, like, you remember growing up in school, like, oh, you get this many stars by your name. If you do this, the stars by your name. Right. They gamify this. Or like, like you move your paperclip, or I mean your clothespin over like to the next level, right? And like they have these reading. I remember these like little reading modules we had. You had to read through, do all the questions. You moved up. You had like 4 in yellow, and then it was like orange, and then green, and then red. They had all the different colors.
Same system. Yeah, we had that same system.
And you pull and you moved up, and it was just super competitive, and you wanted to do it. It's just there's the manual aspect. Now with the electronic and phones and tablets and video games and internet, all these different things, it's so easy to gamify things and tabulate the data and make it more complex. And it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Like it's totally. I just think it's going to get. It's just even more of mainstream because video games are now more mainstream, and so everyone has Candy Crush on their phone, Angry Birds. They understand games. They get that point, and everyone likes that. And that's the raw nature of humans. And so, like you said, even something as simple as checking a box can be made into a gamifying. So I honestly see that like when you brought it up, I thought that was great because I see gamification as being basically in the future, like 20, 30 years down, is the only way that we complete tasks and do things.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what because really our attention span is trash. People don't understand it's to work, and they have to be incentivized now. Like it's just this new generation of kids coming up. It's the only way they'll do anything is they're incentivized. There's no such thing as like doing it because you need to do it. That doesn't exist anymore. So
it's not necessarily all a bad thing, though.
No, not at all.
There's a woman who did a TED Talk on it named Jane McConigal, and she basically is she's a gamer and developer herself. She's a game designer, and she talks about how gaming can be a force for good. And it's one of the topics is like you can gamify life in a way that you have millions of gamers working towards a goal, and instead of it being a virtual goal, make it a real life goal, right? Famine, global warming, AIDS epidemic. Just pick something and go after it and get like the gamers need that. Like she calls it the epic win, So I mean, we can definitely. It's one of those things that be a force for good or evil if you're a marketer.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Get those clicks, man. Get those clicks.
Exactly.
That's right.
Ted's doing research trying to be like, how can I gamify this and sell this?
Yeah, no. The gamification model is great. Loyalty programs is great. It doesn't work so much in the video game like for individual games and companies is as much, unless you're like a big publisher and you have like games coming out or a lot of content. Indie devs need to.
It's hard for like sales to gamify sales.
Yeah, indie games need to just get their games out and sell and get the messaging. That's what they need. So they need to just make sure they have good games. And so like, and that's the kind of wheelhouse that we're in here is that. But no, like I'm totally tracking with you. When I've worked with other clients, like this basically is something as simple as creating a loyalty program for them, which I'm very experienced in. It's huge. It's huge. And so, I mean, I have software and platforms I can just give and just blanket on any business. That's just here's a simple loyalty program, easy. Here you go, use it, and they increase the value because of that way that people want to interact with things and just the gamification it works. So, great topic, man. Fantastic. Like,
thanks. Yeah, seriously, I'm glad you guys are. I'm really happy I got to talk to you guys about it.
No, it's cool. Like, it opens up the doors for a lot of things. And like I said, like just. I don't mean to make it sound negative in the future, but I just think that's the way that we're going. Everything is going to be. That's how our tasks and that's how our life are going to be. It's just going to be gamification across the board.
Especially with AR and VR and stuff. That's really going to ratchet up the whole gamification thing, also.
Yeah, exactly. So
and AI and the 3 laws of robotics.
There you go.
Exactly. Like what was that?
There's number 4.
It was that game that Google put out on their phones.
Oh yeah. Where you have to go to the nodes and take them over.
Yeah. The name of it, but that went insane. People went nuts over that game.
People were like setting booby traps and stuff like that. It was crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, and I can't remember the name of the game from my life, but that's just an example though of what's going to happen. Like
for sure. Well, yeah. Well, hey, let's. Thanks for the topic, and I think we got time for a couple emails, and then let's get out of here. What do you say, fellas?
All right.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, if you guys want to email us, at the email address is jtexgamecast@raptorcow.com, and you can send an email just like Keisha did from Atlanta. She says, "Hi, John and Ted, and you too, Jimmy.
Hello.
My boyfriend is a big gamer, and I'd like to try them out. I'm trying to learn about gaming, hence the reason I've been subscribing to a few gaming podcasts, including this one. What game do you think I should start with playing so I'm not completely embarrassed?" Keisha from Atlanta. I read this today, and I almost fell out of my chair. How do I answer that question? What game should you start? Holy crap. Like, I mean, my first instinct is obviously it's Mario. Duh. I mean,
yeah,
yes.
That's
but it's like, what? Old, new, now, tomorrow? What? Oh, please help me, guys.
It depends on his personality.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends.
What about her? No,
yeah,
like what does she need to start with to learn about video games, how to play a video game, and then maybe you'll move on to play with him? Like, you can go 100 ways. How do we attach
I see.
this?
She needs to learn it.
She wants to learn how to play video games, so she's not embarrassed when she starts trying with him.
Oh, I see.
She's never really played him before. That's what I get from this question.
It's an interesting topic.
Yeah, like what? What?
So you got to start with Pac-Man, Donkey Kong.
You say the old school. I say you skip those because those are too slow for nowadays. I say you go right to Mario, like Mario 1. Cause Mario 3 will like blow your brain. You're like, what? Too many colors. Right. Like just get some dent in your life.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's different types of gamers too. Like, there's people that want to be, there's mastery games. Like, I would say that's a platformer where you're trying to master.
Yeah. What about like Tetris or something like that? Should you mess with Tetris or anything?
Puzzle games. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's always Maniac Mansion.
Yeah. Okay, Keisha. This is what I say you should do. I say you should definitely play some Mario. Like whatever you can, get some Mario. Then I mean, you got to get Mario, whatever form of Mario in the early days you can. If it's Mario 3, if it's Mario World, if it's Mario 1, whatever, just get some Mario in your life. Learn basically how a game works. Lives, dying, jumping. Okay, like that's a video game. Points, points.
Please don't start with a Facebook game.
Yes, please don't. Don't do Animal Farm or Animal Crossing or none of that Candy Crush or none of that. Don't or Saga or whatever it is. Don't do that. And then I'm lost, guys.
Mario's a platform. I mean, you could look at it.
But then what should she do? Yeah, should she do? But you can't just throw into RPGs or anything.
No. I mean, she's learned a
racing game.
platformer.
A racing game she could do.
Yeah,
that's simple. Let's hold the button and steer.
RC Pro-Am.
Okay, yeah. That's early and good. Yeah.
Pole position. Go back to some classics.
Oh yeah.
And then Ted would highly recommend Super Off-Road Racing.
Oh yes, I definitely would.
There's a key to the puzzle to the missing here, though, is we don't know what console she has.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay, Keisha, if you're listening and you have an emulator, just emulate everything and just, you know what? Okay, here you go. Go to Google, type in top 25 video games of all time and play those. Done. Cool. Moving on. Yeah. Moving on. Oh, man. I saw that question. I was like, wow, what? Oh, here's a big one. Okay, well, let's do this. It says, hi, John and Ted. What are some tips on breaking into the gaming industry just after college? And that is from Chad from Orlando.
I would say, well, I'm assuming you took a computer science background. If you're coming out of college and interested in gaming, I would say start coding something, and I would take the tips that Jimmy gave earlier in the interview. Start with something small, something, don't go insane, and just come up with a, simple and basic doesn't mean bad. And start with something simple and basic, start coding something, push it out there, and then, you can start farming your game out to other people to check it out, other studios or whatever. You can say, hey, this is what I did, what do you think? And, I'm looking for possibly a job. Here's what I can do. So that way you can kind of build up your repertoire and, possibly put out something cool at the same time.
Yeah. My suggestion from a business standpoint is build a portfolio. Like with that game that John's talking about, build a game, but build a portfolio of other things you can do and create. Like obviously in school you've built a portfolio with a lot of things, but like again, even some assets, build some Unity assets, build some small games, do different kind of, show your diversity in gaming and what you can do in code. And then it's all about, then network. Find a mentor, someone who is in the industry, and just stick to their hip and bug the hell out of them. Just stick with them. And then network and meet people and talk. Because the biggest thing in business is all about talking, and it's all about who you know. It's every industry. It's business, it's entertainment, it's sports, it's who you know. Right? Yep. And one of the biggest things that I'm learning, because I'm a very outgoing person, is that social awkwardness permeates the gaming and video game and tech industries. So they're not very socially adept at talking a lot of times. But if you are that person who can talk and you can get out, put yourself out there and meet people and find a mentor and with your portfolio, and then just don't be afraid to work for free sometimes too. You got to start somewhere. Just get your foot in the door however you can.
And just bug Jimmy on Twitter.
Hit Jimmy up.
Come talk to me.
Hit Jimmy. Like again, Jimmy took an unconventional route, and look where he's at. So I mean, there's no set path. But if you want to set yourself up, let's go meet people. Meet people like Jimmy. Like, what do you think, Jim?
My advice is go make games.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like build that portfolio.
You'll learn so much from game, and don't look. Your first game's gonna suck. Don't let it bug you.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I made several.
Learn from it.
I made 24 games that were just terrible, that were finished but not finished, and I learned so much from them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right on. Well, there you go. All right, let's see this one. Oh, here's a good one. This is kind of cool. John and Ted, what types of games or specific video games do you excel? What are you the best at? Harvey in Glendale.
Madden.
Yeah, football games. So you're game day 98. So basically, sports. You're a sports game guy. I know that for sure.
Yeah, sports. fighting games, stuff
fast,
like that.
Competitive games, right?
Yeah, that stuff like that I can still play.
What is the best game that you were that? Let's go back to when you could see. What are the best games when you could see that you were good at?
Oh man, I don't want to say like everything I played, but I mean, I love the Zelda, Mario stuff.
Right. Can you be good in an RPG? I think you can be.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you can be good in an RPG unless you're like really good at solving Zelda puzzles. But like,
be knowledgeable.
Yeah, because like Final Fantasy VII, that's like one of my favorite games. Like, you can't really be good at that game. You can be good at knowing how to just grind.
Not necessarily a skill-based game.
Yeah, so RPGs to me. But
Metroid.
Mega Man. You can be good at those hardcore platformers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What about you, Jimmy? What games are you good at?
I don't know. I'm almost willing. I want to say I'm not that good at games, but I know that's not true. I'm just trying to think of like games that I've been. I suppose.
Or genre.
If we're measuring that, I got pretty good at League of Legends.
Oh, solid.
Yeah, I didn't do anything too spectacular. I got to like gold.
Oh well, nice. That's so good though.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, not a lot of games that I played had that metric.
RPG guy, right?
Right, exactly. So
Yeah,
it
me
was like
too.
I'm trying to think of the games that actually had that metric of like ladders and things like that.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be ladder. Maybe you can be good at an RPG, but you're just good at RPGs. Like you're good at playing them. You're good at managing parties and stuff and stats. Maybe
You
that.
figure them out quickly.
Yeah,
Understand?
yeah. That's I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess me too. I'm good at RPGs, I guess, but I think obviously we know that I'm an RTS guy. Like I'm good at real time strategy games. Like I like that a lot.
So you like rocking the Populous and rocking Sim City.
Oh, I mean,
Right.
SimCity is cool. I mean, that's like I do love any kind of strategy game is my favorite. I love anything with strategy. Like it's just like base building, city building. That's great. But I like the competitive element. Like
I beat
Age of
Civilization on Prince.
Empires. Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's good, right?
Yeah, that is
And
good.
by the way, I know there's a bunch of League of Legends snobby league players listening that said I was gold. I know it's not that high. Okay, so
It's still pretty good. No, it's good.
but it's still okay. Okay,
No,
Just
I was
back off.
I was a Dota. I played Dota pretty well. I wouldn't say like I'm the best because people were ridiculous. If I dedicated time like the professionals, I know I could be top level because I'm good at strategy level games.
See, I kind of felt that way about League.
I know
have a
I know I
full-time
could.
job.
I know I could, but I don't. I know I can't do the 300 APM stuff. But I know I could be
Right.
top level competitive, where I can in the conversation of like being in the pros. I could if I tried. But especially RTS, I was like back in the day. I've always said this when at Age of Empires 3, like my clan was the number one in the world, and we won tournaments. And I was on the number one team in the clan. So like I've had skills in esports gaming before esports was like really big, So like
Yeah.
back in like '05 and stuff like that when I was in college, and like I was a football player in college, and at night I would go play like my strategy games, StarCraft, Age of Empires, Command and Conquer. Like I would just play the crap out of those and just merc fools. So that's my thing. So yeah, there you go, Harvey. That's what we're good at. And I also I used to love racing games, man. Oh, like growing up when I was a kid, like racing games were just fun. Like Need for Speed when it first came out, like that was
Need
like
for Speed.
great. Yeah, the first Need for Speed.
Yeah.
I even like the old Road Rash. Like this like I thought they were great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
Rad Racing, baby.
yeah. See, that was good too. Like I
Did you use
love,
Power Glove when you played that?
oh, that one. That's
I
funny.
was always horrible at racing games because I didn't grasp or I didn't care about the concept of sort of like braking and not.
No, just gas, pedal to the metal, bro.
Exactly. Yep, that's how I would do it all the time, and I was just horrible because I would crash all the time. But
Pedal to the metal, man. All right, one more email, and then let's roll. And then let's see. Not that one. Okay, here's this one. We can touch this one lightly, I guess. This is from Chris in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It says, "Hey, excellent adventurites. Indie game development seems to have a definitive line from the mainstream and other AAA titles. That being said, what do you think an indie dev cycle should be? Obviously, it's about funding, right? Let's say funding is only a minimal issue and not the issue. Can an indie game studio or developer stick to a regular release cycle?" Huh. Jimmy, what do you got?
It depends on your situation. I know a lot of people do the stuff on the side, right? They have day jobs and they come home and they work on their games at night. You can't do a regular dev cycle if you're doing things like that. I mean, your dev cycle gets extended by a lot when you have a day job. And I mean, it depends on the size of the team too. I would say if this guy's by himself, like if he's a solo developer, I wouldn't really want to put. Without knowing too much information about what he's making, it's hard to make a 3 months or 6 months or 9 months. I can tell you from experience, developing from my experience, if you're a solo developer and you're working on a game for more than 6 months, you might want to consider what you're making.
Right.
Because the scope may be too big.
Does that mean to get at least a product out, like an alpha or something? Or,
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
To have if you're not sharing your game and having
gotcha.
people play it and it's completely, I mean, it's playable and not broken, after 6 months, you're going to have to look at your scope and see what you're making, especially if you're a solo dev.
Right.
and I would say release often, release fast and furious. Like I mean, that's the approach I take when I'm developing stuff. I just crank away and I push out updates as fast as I can, because then that gives you the opportunity to get feedback, and then the feedback might drive the project in a direction you weren't even considering when you release the last update. Someone might say, hey, you know what, this is a great idea. What if it did X? And you'd be like, I didn't think of X. That's an interesting idea. And then you start cranking away on that and see where that goes. So not a lot of people agree with that approach, but the open source approach, and I'm a big open source advocate, is just release often, fast and furious, and just keep
I agree
pushing.
with that 100%. Fail fast.
Yeah, exactly. Because you could, that's the great thing about sort of indie devs and smaller, companies or smaller studios. It's all about iteration, and you can get a game out there quickly, and you want to know if it's going to fail anyways. I mean, you don't want to put a year into
fail quickly.
Yeah,
that's the number one thing in business. That's in business too. Fail quickly.
Yeah, you don't want to put a year into something and everyone be like, "Wow, this game idea sucks," and be like, "Well, I just wasted a year of my life,"
Mm-hmm.
And this way, you can push out 3 or 4 games in a year, and then one of them someone's going to like, and then that's when you double down on it.
For sure. Excellent. Yeah, well, there you go. I think that's all the time we got for emails. And Jimmy, question. Is it your birthday today?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It is this month, though.
It is this month. When is your birthday?
Are you stalking me?
I am. No, it just Skype says birthday today, and I was like, wait, what?
Okay.
So okay, I was just checking it. So yeah, that's
December 21st. It's
there you go.
After I go see the Star Wars movie.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, Star Wars is coming up. So yeah, if you guys want to write an email into us, it's jtexgamecast@raptorcow.com. And that's going to do it for us, guys. At the end of every show, we have a closeout segment. And this week's closeout segment is Mike, tell a video game joke. And so, as you guys know, Mike is one of the Froyo Bros and is the RaptorCow production intern for my company. And we're going to get him on the phone right now, and he's going to tell us a joke. So hold on, everybody.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're going to page him in here. Mike will be ready to go.
This is why Mike gets paid the big bucks right here.
Mm-hmm. Mike, you there?
Hello?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Nothing much.
We're here with John, as you know, and then we're here with Jimmy Vosler, just one of our game devs kind of hanging out.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mike.
What's up?
So, did you find anything crazy in the attic?
I did not, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, good. How was Froyo today? How was work?
It was good. It was slow because the grocery store next door got taken out. So
well, there you
basically, it's pretty empty all day.
So you just chilled out today and ate ice cream. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So the closeout segment of this week is Mike, tell a video game joke. So what do you got for us, man?
Okay, so my first one is for Minecraft lovers. What
Okay.
kind of parties do Minecraft players have?
I don't know.
They have block parties.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
And I know you'll like this one, Ted.
Okay.
What did Link use to win the basketball game?
Ooh.
I don't know.
His hook shot.
Oh, that's funny. Good job. Yeah.
He's the new Kobe.
Yes. Well, hey, thanks, Mike. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out. Even that you're a working man, you're like the manager now. You're moving on up.
Yeah.
So appreciate it. And
We're gonna double your pay, Mike.
your pay is
Yes,
actually, I'll triple it. I'll triple it.
Yeah.
That was still like $0.
Yeah, your math is sound, sir. Your math is sound. So we're ending the show now. But so Jimmy, any shameless plugs that you want to give before you head out of here?
No, check us out at Trollbird Studios, Twitter at Jimmy Vosler, and definitely check out our podcast, Combo Breakers. We have a lot of fun with that. So, and the guy I do it with is insane.
Awesome. Well, yes,
funny.
That's good.
That's great. Well, this has been the episode number 9 of John and Ted's Excellent Gamecast. If you want to get a hold of us, send us an email, jtexgamecast. All of our social media is the same, jtexgamecast on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Join our Facebook group, John and Ted's Excellent Game Group. What else is there? Oh, yeah, my personal Instagram and Twitter and everything is TedWords44, TEdwards44. John's is JNADO, NADEAU7. And then, Mike, what are you at again? Hot for My Flavor, right?
Yeah, I'm at Hot for My Flavor for Instagram.
Yeah, get at Mike. Yeah, get at Mike. Follow him on Twitch. Same thing. Then we're out of here. That's it. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
Until next week.
Game over.